Imagine waking up each day feeling overwhelmed by the challenges life throws at you. The stress of work, the pressure of relationships, the endless list of tasks, all of it feels like a heavy weight on your shoulders. You find yourself caught in a cycle of worry, frustration, and doubt, struggling to find peace amidst the chaos. But deep down, you know there's a better way to live, a way to break free from the constant anxiety and discover a sense of calm and purpose. What if I told you that you hold the power to completely transform your life? Not by changing the world around you, but by changing the way you think, feel, and respond to everything that happens. There is a philosophy that has guided some of the greatest minds in history, offering a path to inner strength, resilience, and lasting happiness. It's not about escaping from life's challenges, but about facing them with a mindset so strong that nothing can shake you. In a world that often feels out of control, many people search for something solid to hold on to, something that can help them navigate through life's storms with confidence and clarity. This philosophy isn't new. It's been around for thousands of years, quietly shaping the lives of those who dared to live by its principles. And now, it's time for you to discover it too. Imagine what it would be like to face every challenge with a sense of calm and control, to no longer be swayed by the opinions of others or the fear of failure. Imagine being able to focus on what truly matters, letting go of all the distractions and noise that fill your days. Imagine finding a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, not from the things you achieve or possess, but from the way you choose to live each moment. This philosophy teaches you to embrace simplicity, to focus on what you can control, and to let go of everything else. It's about living with intention, making choices that align with your true values, and cultivating a mindset that can weather any storm. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be, not by changing the world around you, but by changing the world within you. Think about the times when life felt overwhelming, when the pressure seemed too much to bear. Maybe it was a difficult conversation with a loved one, a setback at work, or a moment of self-doubt that left you questioning your abilities. These moments can feel like mountains, impossible to climb, but they can also be opportunities, chances to grow stronger, to learn, and to become more resilient. This philosophy shows you how to see challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones to something greater. It teaches you that the greatest power you have is your ability to choose how you respond to whatever life throws your way. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you react. And in that choice lies your freedom, your strength, and your path to true happiness. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools to handle it. You feel a deep sense of peace, not because life is easy, but because you have learned to embrace the ups and downs with grace and courage. You no longer waste energy on things you can't control. Instead, you focus on what you can do right here and now to make your life better. This isn't about pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the challenges that come your way. It's about facing them head-on, with a mindset that turns problems into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. It's about building a life that is resilient, meaningful, and aligned with your deepest values. You don't need to change who you are, you just need to reconnect with the strength that's already inside you. This philosophy helps you strip away the layers of fear, doubt, and insecurity that have built up over time, revealing the true, powerful, and capable person you are at your core. It's about becoming more of who you are, not less. Imagine how it would feel to finally let go of the need to control everything around you, to stop worrying about the future and start living fully in the present. Picture yourself making decisions with confidence, knowing that you are guided by a set of principles that are timeless, proven and grounded in wisdom. Picture yourself finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty of each moment, and feeling a deep sense of contentment no matter what life brings. You have the power to change your life, and it starts with changing your mind. It starts with a decision to live differently, to embrace a philosophy that empowers you to be strong, calm, and purposeful in every situation. It's about taking control of your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions, and using them to create a life that truly reflects who you are and what you stand for. This is your invitation to embark on a journey of transformation, a journey that will take you from where you are now to a place of greater peace, clarity, and fulfillment. It's not an easy path, but it's a rewarding one. And the best part? You don't have to do it alone. You will be guided every step of the way with wisdom that has stood the test of time and continues to inspire and uplift those who embrace it. So, are you ready to take the first step? Are you ready to let go of the things that hold you back and start living a life that is truly your own? The journey begins now, and it starts with a simple decision: to live with intention, to act with purpose, and to embrace the challenges of life with courage and resilience. As you move forward, remember that this journey is not about reaching a destination, but about embracing the process of becoming. It's about making small, consistent changes that add up to a life of deep meaning and lasting happiness. It's about learning to see the world, and yourself, through a new lens, one that reveals the beauty and potential in every moment. You have the power to reinvent your life, to create a future that is aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. It's time to take that power into your own hands and start making the changes that will lead you to the life you've always wanted. This is your moment. This is your time. The journey of transformation is yours to begin, and the path is laid out before you. All you have to do is take the first step. Embrace the power within you and let it guide you to a life of true freedom, peace, and purpose. Your life is waiting. Are you ready to take control and make it everything you've ever dreamed it could be? The choice is yours, and the time to act is now. Let this journey begin. As you stand on the edge of change, poised to reshape your life, there's a powerful force waiting to guide you, a force that has stood the test of time, quietly empowering those who dared to embrace it. This force is not something external, something you need to acquire or chase. It's already within you, ready to be awakened and unleashed. Imagine a life where every decision you make is grounded in clarity and purpose, where your actions are driven by values that are unshakable, and where the noise of the world fades into the background, leaving you focused on what truly matters. This isn't just a dream. It's a reality you can create by understanding and applying the core principles of Stoicism. Stoicism, at its heart, is a philosophy of action. It's about doing rather than merely knowing. The ancient Stoics believed that the key to a good life was not found in external success or the accumulation of wealth, but in the cultivation of inner virtues that guide your thoughts, actions, and responses to the world around you. These virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, form the bedrock of Stoic philosophy, offering a roadmap to living a life that is not only resilient, but deeply fulfilling. These virtues are not mere abstract concepts. They are practical guides to how one can live a life of integrity and purpose, regardless of the external circumstances. The Stoics believed that by embodying these virtues, we could achieve a state of eudaimonia, a term they used to describe a life of flourishing and fulfillment. At the core of Stoicism is the understanding that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This simple yet profound idea is the foundation upon which the entire philosophy is built. It's a call to focus on what is within our power, to master our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, rather than wasting energy on the things we cannot change. By accepting this truth, you free yourself from the tyranny of external circumstances and begin to cultivate a sense of peace and purpose that is rooted in your own inner strength. This approach not only reduces unnecessary stress and anxiety, but also empowers you to act with intention and clarity, even in the face of adversity. This principle, known as the dichotomy of control, is the first and perhaps most important lesson that Stoicism offers. It teaches us to draw a clear line between what we can influence and what we cannot. The weather, the actions of others, the twists of fate, these are all beyond our control. But our own attitudes, our choices, and our behaviors are entirely within our grasp. By focusing on what we can control, we take back the power over our own lives, refusing to be victims of circumstance. This shift in focus from the external to the internal is transformative, allowing us to navigate life with a sense of calm and confidence that is not easily shaken. This shift in perspective is liberating. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you release yourself from the grip of anxiety and fear. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to practice the virtues that Stoicism champions. For the Stoic, every difficulty is a chance to demonstrate courage, every injustice an opportunity to act justly, every moment of temptation a moment to exercise temperance, and every confusion a moment to seek wisdom. This approach to life fosters a mindset of resilience and growth, where setbacks are viewed not as failures, but as valuable lessons that help us refine our character and strengthen our resolve. Wisdom, in Stoic terms, is more than just knowledge. It's the ability to see things as they truly are, free from the distortions of fear, desire, and ego. It's the understanding that reality is indifferent to our wants and needs, and that it's our perception of events, not the events themselves, that determines how we feel. This clarity of vision allows the Stoic to navigate life's complexities with a sense of calm and purpose, unburdened by the illusions that so often lead to suffering. By cultivating wisdom, we learn to accept things as they are, rather than as we wish them to be, which is the first step toward inner peace and contentment. Courage, another central virtue of Stoicism, is not merely the absence of fear, but the resolve to act rightly in spite of it. It's the strength to face the trials of life with a steadfast heart, knowing that true harm comes not from external forces, but from the failure to live according to one's principles. Courage enables the Stoic to confront adversity with dignity, to stand firm in the face of danger, and to pursue what is right, even when it is difficult. This kind of courage is not about reckless bravery, but about a deep commitment to doing what is morally right, regardless of the personal cost. Justice, in the Stoic sense, is about more than fairness. It's about living in harmony with others and contributing to the greater good. The Stoic recognizes that we are all part of a larger community and that our actions must reflect our responsibilities to others as well as to ourselves. Justice demands that we treat others with respect and kindness, that we act with integrity, and that we strive to create a world that is fair and just for all. This principle guides us in our interactions with others, encouraging us to act with compassion and empathy, and to consider the impact of our actions on the broader community. Temperance, the final of the four cardinal virtues, is the practice of self-control and moderation. It's the ability to regulate one's desires and impulses, to avoid excess, and to maintain balance in all things. Temperance teaches the Stoic to appreciate what they have, to avoid the pitfalls of greed and indulgence, and to live a life of simplicity and contentment. By practicing temperance, we learn to find satisfaction in what is essential and to avoid the distractions and temptations that can lead us astray. This virtue is key to achieving a sense of balance and harmony in life, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. These virtues are not abstract ideals, but practical guides for living. They are the tools that allow us to navigate the challenges of life with grace and resilience. By embodying these virtues, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe, finding peace in the knowledge that we are living in accordance with our true nature. This alignment with nature is central to Stoic philosophy, as it teaches us to live in harmony with the world around us rather than in conflict with it. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment that is not easily disturbed by external events. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. This idea encourages us to embrace everything that happens to us, good or bad, as part of our destiny. Rather than resisting the events that befall us, we are called to accept them with gratitude, recognizing that each experience is an opportunity for growth. This mindset transforms suffering into strength, adversity into wisdom, and loss into liberation. Amor fati is not about passive resignation, but about active acceptance. It's about recognizing that every event in our lives, no matter how painful or challenging, is an integral part of our journey. By loving our fate, we stop fighting against the current of life and start flowing with it, finding joy and meaning even in the most difficult of circumstances. This acceptance is a powerful tool for cultivating resilience, as it allows us to face life's challenges with a sense of purpose and determination. In practice, this means cultivating a mindset that is both flexible and firm. We remain steadfast in our commitment to our principles, but adaptable in our approach to the challenges that arise. We learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as feedback, signals that guide us on our path to self-improvement. This flexibility allows us to navigate life's twists and turns with a sense of purpose and direction, always moving forward, even in the face of adversity. This approach fosters a sense of resilience that is not easily shaken by external events, as it is grounded in a deep commitment to our values and principles. Central to the Stoic worldview is the idea of living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, this means aligning our lives with the rational order of the universe, recognizing that we are part of a larger whole and that our well-being is interconnected with the well-being of others and the world around us. This principle calls us to live with integrity, to act with wisdom and compassion, and to contribute to the common good. Living in accordance with nature also means accepting the impermanence of all things. The Stoics remind us that everything in life is transient: our possessions, our relationships, our very lives. This awareness of impermanence helps us to detach from the things we cannot keep and to focus on what truly matters: the cultivation of virtue, the pursuit of wisdom, and the contribution to the greater good. By embracing the fleeting nature of life, we learn to live fully in the present moment, appreciating each experience without clinging to it. This acceptance of impermanence is not about giving up on life, but about embracing it fully, with all its ups and downs, joys and sorrows. This principle of impermanence is closely linked to the Stoic practice of negative visualization, or the contemplation of loss. By regularly reflecting on the impermanence of all things, we prepare ourselves for the inevitable changes and losses that life will bring. This practice helps us to appreciate what we have while we have it, and to let go gracefully when the time comes. It also builds resilience, allowing us to face life's challenges with equanimity, knowing that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Negative visualization is not about dwelling on the negative, but about preparing ourselves mentally and emotionally for the challenges that life will inevitably bring. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner strength and resilience that allows us to face adversity with grace and composure. Another key element of Stoicism is the practice of mindfulness, or the continuous awareness of our thoughts and actions. The Stoics believed that in order to live a virtuous life, we must be constantly vigilant, monitoring our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to ensure that they align with our principles. This practice of self-awareness helps us to catch ourselves when we stray from the path of virtue and to correct course before we fall too far. Mindfulness in Stoicism is not just about being aware of the present moment. It's about being aware of our intentions, our values, and our impact on the world around us. It's about living with intention, making deliberate choices that reflect our true nature and our highest aspirations. By practicing mindfulness, we cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world, and we develop the clarity and focus needed to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. This kind of mindfulness is not just about being present in the moment, but about being present in our lives, fully engaged with our actions, our choices, and our values. Stoicism also teaches the importance of self-reflection and continuous self-improvement. The Stoics believed that each day offers an opportunity to grow and to become a better version of ourselves. They encouraged the practice of daily reflection, taking time each evening to review the day's events, to assess our actions, and to consider how we can improve in the future. This habit of reflection fosters a mindset of constant growth, reminding us that the journey to virtue is ongoing and that each day is a chance to take another step forward. The Stoic commitment to self-improvement is not about striving for perfection, but about striving for progress. It's about recognizing our flaws and weaknesses, not as sources of shame, but as opportunities for growth. It's about being patient with ourselves, understanding that change takes time and that the path to virtue is a lifelong journey. By embracing this mindset, we learn to approach life with humility and resilience, always seeking to learn, to grow, and to become better. In the end, the core principles of Stoicism offer a powerful framework for living a life of meaning, purpose, and resilience. They teach us to focus on what we can control, to accept what we cannot, and to find strength and peace in the face of life's challenges. They guide us to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, to embrace our fate with love, and to continuously strive for self-improvement. As you continue on your journey of transformation, remember that the power to change your life lies not in the external world, but within you. By understanding and applying the core principles of Stoicism, you can build a foundation of inner strength and resilience that will carry you through any challenge and guide you toward a life of lasting peace, purpose, and fulfillment. As you reflect on the core principles of Stoicism, a powerful realization begins to take root within you, the understanding that so much of what we strive for, worry about, and cling to is beyond our control. This revelation can be both liberating and unsettling. It's a reminder that no matter how much we plan, prepare, or hope, life will unfold in ways we cannot predict or dictate. Yet within this uncertainty lies a profound opportunity for freedom. The freedom to let go of what we cannot control and to focus instead on the one thing that is always within our power, our own minds. Imagine the weight that could be lifted if you no longer felt the need to control every outcome, to ensure that everything goes exactly as planned, to shield yourself from every possible disappointment. What if you could face life with a sense of calm and detachment, unshaken by the twists and turns that inevitably come your way? This isn't about apathy or indifference. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to engage fully with life while remaining free from the anxiety and frustration that come from clinging to outcomes you cannot control. This approach requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to surrender the illusion of control that so often drives our actions and emotions. It's about understanding that while we may influence certain aspects of our lives, we cannot dictate how everything will turn out. By accepting this truth, we can begin to detach from the outcomes and focus our energy where it truly matters, on our own thoughts, choices, and responses. This detachment is not a sign of weakness or resignation. It's a powerful act of strength. It's the decision to place your trust in your ability to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and resilience, rather than in the fickle and unpredictable nature of external events. It's about freeing yourself from the endless cycle of striving and worrying, and instead finding peace in the knowledge that you have done your best, whatever the outcome may be. The Stoic approach to detachment invites you to examine the things in your life that you hold on to most tightly. What are the fears that keep you up at night? What are the desires that drive you to exhaustion? What are the expectations that lead to disappointment? By shining a light on these attachments, you can begin to see them for what they are: temporary, uncertain, and ultimately outside of your control. And in that recognition, you find the freedom to let them go. This process of letting go doesn't mean giving up on your goals or aspirations. It means pursuing them with a sense of purpose and dedication, but without becoming so attached to the outcome that it consumes you. It's about finding a balance between effort and surrender, between striving and acceptance. When you can do this, you become like a ship navigating the seas, not fighting the waves or the wind, but adjusting your sails to make the most of the conditions you are given. Detachment, as understood in Stoicism, is not about distancing yourself from life, but about engaging with it in a healthier, more sustainable way. It's about being present in the moment, fully aware and fully alive, while also being at peace with whatever may come. This mindset allows you to approach challenges with a clear and steady mind, unburdened by the fear of failure or the need for approval. It empowers you to take bold actions, knowing that your worth is not tied to the results, but to the integrity and wisdom with which you act. To cultivate this sense of detachment, the Stoics encourage us to practice distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. This practice, though simple in theory, can be challenging in execution. It requires a deep level of self-awareness and honesty, as well as the courage to confront our own fears and insecurities. But with time and persistence, it becomes a habit, one that brings with it a profound sense of peace and empowerment. Imagine for a moment the relief of no longer feeling responsible for the things you cannot control. Imagine being able to let go of the need to please everyone, to always succeed, to avoid every mistake. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. You direct your energy toward being the best version of yourself, regardless of the circumstances. This is the essence of Stoic detachment, a mindset that frees you from the tyranny of external outcomes and allows you to live with greater clarity, purpose, and peace. One of the first steps in practicing detachment is to recognize the difference between what is essential and what is not. The Stoics believed that many of the things we chase after, wealth, status, pleasure, are not essential to a good life. They are external goods, subject to the whims of fortune and therefore beyond our control. What is essential, they argued, is virtue, living in accordance with reason, integrity, and moral principles. When we prioritize virtue over external goods, we begin to see that our happiness and well-being do not depend on external circumstances, but on our own inner state. This shift in focus from the external to the internal is key to cultivating detachment. It allows us to pursue our goals and desires without becoming enslaved by them. We can work hard, strive for excellence, and seek out opportunities, but we do so with the understanding that the outcome is not entirely in our hands. We accept that success and failure, gain and loss, are part of the natural ebb and flow of life, and we do not let them define us. Detachment also involves letting go of the need for approval and validation from others. The Stoics taught that our worth is not determined by what others think of us, but by our own actions and character. When we base our self-esteem on external validation, we become vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others, which can fluctuate wildly and often do not reflect our true value. By detaching from the need for approval, we free ourselves to act with authenticity and integrity, regardless of how others may perceive us. This doesn't mean that we should ignore the opinions of others altogether, but rather that we should take them into account without allowing them to dictate our actions or our sense of self-worth. We can listen to feedback, consider different perspectives, and learn from criticism, but ultimately, we must make our own decisions based on our values and principles. By doing so, we become more confident and self-reliant, able to navigate the complexities of life with a clear sense of direction and purpose. Another important aspect of detachment is learning to accept uncertainty and change. The Stoics understood that life is constantly changing and that uncertainty is a natural part of the human experience. They taught that rather than fearing change, we should embrace it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. This requires us to let go of our attachment to stability and predictability, and to develop a mindset that is open to new possibilities. When we cling too tightly to the way things are, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. By practicing detachment, we learn to go with the flow, adapting to new circumstances with grace and resilience. We become less attached to specific outcomes and more focused on how we respond to the challenges and opportunities that arise. This flexibility allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease and confidence, knowing that we have the inner resources to handle whatever comes our way. Detachment also involves letting go of the past. The Stoics believed that dwelling on past mistakes, regrets, or missed opportunities was a waste of energy. The past is beyond our control, and no amount of wishing or worrying can change what has already happened. By letting go of the past, we free ourselves to live fully in the present, making the most of the opportunities and challenges that are before us now. This doesn't mean that we should ignore the lessons of the past or fail to learn from our mistakes. On the contrary, the Stoics encouraged us to reflect on our experiences and to use them as a guide for future actions. But they also taught that we should not be burdened by the past, nor should we allow it to define us. We are not the sum of our past mistakes. We are the sum of our current thoughts, actions, and choices. By letting go of the past, we create space for growth and transformation, allowing us to move forward with a sense of purpose and possibility. Another key aspect of Stoic detachment is the practice of negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenarios that could arise in any given situation, not to dwell on them, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for whatever may come. By confronting our fears head-on, we reduce their power over us and cultivate a sense of calm and readiness. This practice helps us to detach from specific outcomes and to focus instead on how we will respond, regardless of what happens. Negative visualization is not about being pessimistic or expecting the worst, but about being realistic and prepared. It's about acknowledging that life is unpredictable and that things may not always go as planned. By visualizing potential challenges and setbacks, we train ourselves to respond with resilience and composure, rather than with panic or despair. This practice also helps us to appreciate what we have, as we become more aware of the fragility and impermanence of life. Detachment also requires us to let go of our attachment to material possessions. The Stoics taught that true wealth is not found in external goods, but in inner virtues and wisdom. They believed that attachment to material possessions leads to greed, envy, and dissatisfaction, as we are constantly seeking more and fearing the loss of what we have. By practicing detachment from material goods, we free ourselves from the cycle of desire and fear, and we find contentment in the simple pleasures of life. This doesn't mean that we should renounce all material possessions or live in poverty, but rather that we should not place our happiness and self-worth in things that can be taken away. We can enjoy the comforts and conveniences of life, but we do so with the understanding that they are temporary and not essential to our well-being. By cultivating a sense of detachment from material possessions, we become less vulnerable to loss and more focused on the things that truly matter: our relationships, our values, and our personal growth. Another important aspect of detachment is letting go of the need to be right or to win every argument. The Stoics taught that the pursuit of truth and wisdom is more important than the need to be right or to prove others wrong. They believed that humility and openness to new ideas were essential to personal growth and self-improvement. By letting go of the need to be right, we free ourselves to listen, to learn, and to grow. This doesn't mean that we should not stand up for our beliefs or defend our principles, but rather that we should be willing to question our assumptions, to consider other perspectives, and to engage in constructive dialogue. By practicing detachment from our own opinions, we become more open-minded and receptive to new ideas, and we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Detachment also involves letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes in our relationships. The Stoics taught that while we should love and care for others, we should not base our happiness or self-worth on their actions or approval. They believed that true love is rooted in respect for the autonomy and dignity of others, and that attachment to specific outcomes in relationships leads to disappointment and suffering. By practicing detachment in our relationships, we free ourselves to love more fully and authentically, without the fear of loss or rejection. We learn to accept others as they are, without trying to change them or control their behavior. This allows us to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than on expectations and demands. Finally, detachment involves letting go of the fear of death. The Stoics believed that the fear of death was one of the greatest obstacles to living a good life. They taught that death is a natural part of life, and that it should be accepted with courage and equanimity. By letting go of the fear of death, we free ourselves to live more fully in the present, without the constant anxiety of what lies ahead. This doesn't mean that we should be reckless or indifferent to the value of life, but rather that we should not allow the fear of death to dominate our thoughts and actions. By accepting the inevitability of death, we learn to appreciate the preciousness of each moment and to live with a sense of purpose and gratitude. We also become more resilient in the face of life's challenges, knowing that our worth is not determined by the length of our life, but by the quality of our character and the impact we have on others. In practicing detachment, we cultivate a mindset of freedom and resilience, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. We learn to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while letting go of the things we cannot. This approach empowers us to live with greater clarity, purpose, and peace, unburdened by the anxiety and frustration that come from clinging to external outcomes. As you continue on your journey, remember that detachment is not about withdrawing from life, but about engaging with it in a healthier, more sustainable way. It's about finding the balance between effort and surrender, between striving and acceptance. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the tyranny of external events and find the inner strength and peace to face whatever comes your way. Embracing detachment also fosters a deeper connection with the present moment. When we let go of our fixation on outcomes and future possibilities, we become more attuned to what is happening here and now. This presence of mind allows us to engage more fully with our experiences, appreciating the richness of life as it unfolds. Instead of being lost in thoughts of what might be or what could have been, we are grounded in the reality of the moment, which is the only time we truly have. This focus on the present moment is not about ignoring the future or neglecting our responsibilities. It's about acknowledging that while we can plan and prepare, we cannot control the future. By accepting this, we reduce the stress and anxiety that often come from worrying about what might happen. We learn to trust in our ability to handle whatever comes our way, knowing that we have the strength and resilience to face challenges as they arise. Detachment also enhances our ability to practice gratitude. When we are not fixated on achieving specific outcomes, we become more aware of the blessings and opportunities that already exist in our lives. We start to notice the small joys and simple pleasures that we might otherwise overlook. This awareness fosters a sense of contentment and fulfillment, as we realize that we already have much to be grateful for, regardless of external circumstances. Gratitude, in turn, reinforces our practice of detachment. When we are grateful for what we have, we are less likely to become attached to what we desire. We can pursue our goals with enthusiasm, but without the desperation that often comes from thinking that our happiness depends on achieving them. This balanced approach allows us to work toward our aspirations with a sense of joy and purpose, rather than fear and anxiety. Another benefit of detachment is that it helps us to cultivate patience. When we let go of the need for immediate results, we become more patient and tolerant of delays and setbacks. We understand that progress takes time and that the journey is just as important as the destination. This patience allows us to persevere in our efforts, even when the road is difficult or the results are slow to materialize. Detachment also helps us to build resilience. When we are not overly attached to specific outcomes, we are better able to adapt to changes and setbacks. We can roll with the punches, adjusting our plans and strategies as needed, without becoming discouraged or disheartened. This resilience allows us to continue moving forward, even in the face of adversity, knowing that our worth and happiness are not dependent on any single outcome. Detachment also enhances our relationships. When we let go of our expectations and demands on others, we create space for more authentic and fulfilling connections. We learn to appreciate people for who they are, rather than for what they can do for us or how they can meet our needs. This acceptance fosters deeper trust and intimacy, as we are no longer trying to control or manipulate others to fit our desires. By practicing detachment in our relationships, we also become more compassionate and empathetic. We can listen more deeply and respond more thoughtfully, without the interference of our own ego or agenda. This allows us to be more present and supportive for those we care about, enhancing the quality of our interactions and the strength of our bonds. Detachment also encourages us to live with greater integrity. When we are not swayed by external outcomes, we are more likely to act in accordance with our values and principles. We make decisions based on what is right and true, rather than on what will bring us the most approval, success, or pleasure. This integrity is the foundation of a life well lived, as it ensures that our actions are aligned with our deepest beliefs and intentions. In conclusion, the practice of detachment, as taught by the Stoics, is a powerful tool for living a life of greater peace, purpose, and fulfillment. By letting go of our attachment to external outcomes, we free ourselves to focus on what truly matters: our own thoughts, actions, and character. We become more resilient, patient, and compassionate, better able to navigate the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. As you continue on your journey, remember that detachment is not about giving up or withdrawing from life. It's about engaging with life more fully and authentically, without the burden of unrealistic expectations or the fear of failure. It's about finding the balance between effort and surrender, between striving and acceptance. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the tyranny of external events and find the inner strength and peace to face whatever comes your way. This practice of detachment is a lifelong journey, one that requires patience, persistence, and self-awareness. But with each step, you will find yourself growing stronger, more resilient, and more at peace. You will discover that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around you, but from mastering the world within you. And in that mastery, you will find a deep and lasting sense of fulfillment, knowing that you have lived your life with integrity, purpose, and grace. The journey to detachment is not an easy one, but it is a journey worth taking. As you continue to explore and practice the principles of Stoicism, you will find that detachment becomes not just a tool for navigating life's challenges, but a way of being, a mindset that allows you to live with greater clarity, compassion, and courage. And in that way of being, you will find the freedom and peace that you have been seeking all along. As you continue to embrace the power of detachment, a new understanding emerges. True freedom and peace come not only from letting go of what you can't control, but also from building a mindset that can withstand whatever life throws your way. The world around you is unpredictable, full of challenges and obstacles that can test your resolve. But within you lies the potential to face these difficulties with unwavering strength, to remain steady in the storm, and to rise above whatever adversity you encounter. This is the essence of resilience, and it is a skill that can be cultivated, honed, and strengthened through the practice of Stoicism. Imagine possessing a mindset so resilient that no setback could break you, no disappointment could dishearten you, and no failure could define you. Picture yourself standing tall, even when the world around you seems to crumble. This is not a distant dream. It is a reality that you can achieve by developing the mental strength and resilience that Stoicism teaches. Resilience is not just about bouncing back from adversity. It is about moving forward with a sense of purpose and determination, no matter how difficult the path may be. It is the ability to stay grounded when everything around you is in flux, to remain calm in the face of chaos, and to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. Building this kind of resilience requires a commitment to growth, a willingness to face your fears, and a dedication to practicing the principles of Stoicism in your daily life. One of the first steps in building resilience is understanding that challenges are not to be feared, but embraced. The Stoics believed that adversity is an inevitable part of life, and that it is through these challenges that we are given the opportunity to grow and strengthen our character. When you encounter obstacles, rather than seeing them as roadblocks, see them as stepping stones, opportunities to test your resilience, to learn, and to become stronger. To develop this mindset, it is essential to shift your perspective on hardship. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every challenge, no matter how difficult, carries with it a lesson, a chance to develop your inner strength. By approaching life with this mindset, you transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. You begin to see that each difficulty you face is a chance to practice the virtues of Stoicism, courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance, and to become more resilient in the process. Another key aspect of building resilience is the practice of self-discipline. The Stoics taught that self-discipline is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. It is the ability to control your impulses, to stay focused on your goals, and to persevere even when the going gets tough. Self-discipline allows you to stay on course, to keep moving forward, even when faced with setbacks and distractions. It is the foundation upon which resilience is built, providing you with the strength to keep going, no matter what. Developing self-discipline requires consistency and commitment. It means setting clear goals and holding yourself accountable to them. It means resisting the temptation to give up or take the easy way out, and instead choosing to push through even when it is difficult. Self-discipline is not about denying yourself pleasure or comfort, but about making choices that are aligned with your long-term goals and values. It is about prioritizing what truly matters and not allowing short-term desires to derail your progress. A resilient mindset is also one that embraces change and uncertainty. The Stoics believed that change is a natural part of life, and that the ability to adapt to new circumstances is essential to resilience. Rather than resisting change, a resilient mindset welcomes it as an opportunity for growth. This requires letting go of the need for control and instead trusting in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. To build this kind of adaptability, it is important to cultivate a mindset that is open to new experiences and challenges. This means stepping out of your comfort zone, trying new things, and being willing to take risks. It also means being flexible in your thinking, able to see situations from different perspectives, and ready to adjust your approach when necessary. By embracing change, you build the mental flexibility that is crucial to resilience, allowing you to thrive even in the face of uncertainty. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to manage your emotions. The Stoics taught that emotional control is key to maintaining a resilient mindset. This does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending that they do not exist, but rather learning to regulate them in a healthy and constructive way. It means not allowing your emotions to control you, but instead choosing how you respond to them. One of the techniques the Stoics used to manage emotions was the practice of rational self-reflection. This involves examining your emotions and the thoughts that trigger them, and asking yourself whether they are based on reality or distorted by fear, anger, or desire. By questioning your emotional responses, you gain greater control over them and are better able to respond to situations with calm and clarity. Another technique for managing emotions is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness involves staying present in the moment, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and responding to them in a deliberate and thoughtful way. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of your emotional triggers and learn to respond to them in a way that is aligned with your values and goals. This helps you maintain emotional balance even in the face of stress and adversity, and builds the emotional resilience that is essential to a resilient mindset. Resilience also requires a strong sense of purpose. The Stoics believed that having a clear sense of purpose is essential to building resilience. When you have a strong sense of purpose, you are better able to withstand the challenges and setbacks that life throws your way, because you know that you are working towards something meaningful and important. Purpose gives you the motivation and determination to keep going, even when the going gets tough. To develop a strong sense of purpose, it is important to identify your core values and goals. What is it that you truly want to achieve in life? What are the values that guide your decisions and actions? By identifying your purpose, you create a sense of direction and meaning in your life, which is essential to building resilience. When you know what you are working toward, you are more likely to stay focused and motivated, even in the face of adversity. Another key aspect of building resilience is the practice of gratitude. The Stoics believed that gratitude is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you focus on what you have, rather than on what you lack, you develop a sense of contentment and fulfillment that helps you stay strong in the face of challenges. Gratitude allows you to appreciate the good in your life, even when things are difficult, and to stay grounded in the present moment. Practicing gratitude involves making a conscious effort to focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than on the negatives. This can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for, or keeping a gratitude journal where you write down the things you appreciate. By practicing gratitude, you cultivate a mindset of abundance and positivity, which is essential to building resilience. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to maintain a sense of perspective. The Stoics believed that maintaining perspective is essential to building resilience. When you are able to see the bigger picture, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by challenges and setbacks. Perspective allows you to put difficulties in context, to recognize that they are temporary and that they do not define you. To maintain perspective, it is important to keep a sense of proportion. This means not allowing challenges to take on more significance than they deserve, and not letting them overshadow the positive aspects of your life. It also means recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of life, and that they do not mean that you have failed or that you are not capable of achieving your goals. By maintaining perspective, you are better able to stay resilient in the face of adversity and to keep moving forward with a sense of purpose and determination. Resilience also requires the ability to seek out support when needed. The Stoics believed that while resilience is an individual quality, it is also strengthened by connection with others. When you are able to lean on others for support, you are better able to navigate the challenges of life with resilience and strength. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness, but a recognition that we are all interconnected and that we are stronger when we support one another. To build a resilient mindset, it is important to cultivate strong relationships with others. This means surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage you, and who share your values and goals. It also means being willing to reach out for help when you need it, and to offer support to others in return. By building a network of support, you create a foundation of strength that helps you stay resilient in the face of challenges. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to practice self-care. The Stoics believed that taking care of your physical and mental well-being is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you neglect your well-being, you are more likely to become overwhelmed by stress and adversity. By taking care of yourself, you build the strength and resilience needed to face life's challenges with grace and determination. Practicing self-care involves making a conscious effort to take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. This can include regular exercise, healthy eating, getting enough sleep, and taking time to relax and recharge. It also means paying attention to your mental and emotional health, and seeking out activities that help you stay balanced and grounded. By practicing self-care, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to stay flexible in the face of change. The Stoics believed that flexibility is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you are able to adapt to new circumstances and change your approach when needed, you are better able to navigate the challenges of life with resilience and strength. Flexibility allows you to stay open to new possibilities and to find creative solutions to problems. To build flexibility, it is important to cultivate a mindset that is open to change and new experiences. This means being willing to let go of old ways of thinking and doing things, and to embrace new ideas and approaches. It also means being willing to take risks and try new things, even if they are outside of your comfort zone. By staying flexible, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Another key aspect of resilience is the ability to stay focused on the present moment. The Stoics believed that staying present is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you are able to stay focused on the here and now, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. Staying present allows you to fully engage with life, to appreciate the moment, and to make the most of the opportunities that come your way. To stay present, it is important to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment or distraction. This can involve simple practices like deep breathing, meditation, or simply taking a few moments each day to focus on your surroundings. By practicing mindfulness, you cultivate a sense of presence and awareness that is essential to building resilience. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to maintain hope. The Stoics believed that hope is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you have hope, you are better able to stay motivated and focused on your goals, even in the face of adversity. Hope gives you the strength to keep going, to keep striving, and to keep believing in the possibility of a better future. To cultivate hope, it is important to focus on your goals and aspirations, and to keep them in mind even when things are difficult. This means setting clear goals and working toward them with determination and persistence. It also means finding inspiration in the stories and experiences of others who have overcome challenges and achieved their dreams. By maintaining hope, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to learn from failure. The Stoics believed that failure is a natural part of life and that it is through failure that we learn and grow. When you are able to see failure as an opportunity for growth rather than as a setback, you are better able to build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. To learn from failure, it is important to adopt a growth mindset. This means seeing challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as indicators of your worth or abilities. It also means being willing to take risks and try new things, even if they may result in failure. By embracing failure as a part of the learning process, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Another important aspect of resilience is the ability to stay optimistic. The Stoics believed that optimism is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you are able to stay positive and hopeful, even in the face of challenges, you are better able to stay focused and motivated. Optimism gives you the strength to keep going, to keep striving, and to keep believing in the possibility of a better future. To cultivate optimism, it is important to focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than on the negatives. This can involve simple practices like keeping a gratitude journal where you write down the things you are grateful for each day. It can also involve surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people and seeking out activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. By cultivating optimism, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Another key aspect of resilience is the ability to stay true to your values. The Stoics believed that staying true to your values is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you are able to act in accordance with your values, even in the face of adversity, you are better able to stay strong and resilient. Staying true to your values gives you the strength to keep going, to keep striving, and to keep believing in the possibility of a better future. To stay true to your values, it is important to identify what is most important to you and to make decisions that are aligned with your values and principles. This means being willing to stand up for what you believe in, even when it is difficult, and to make choices that are consistent with your values, even when they are not the easiest or most convenient. By staying true to your values, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Finally, resilience requires a commitment to self-compassion. The Stoics believed that being kind and compassionate to yourself is essential to maintaining a resilient mindset. When you are able to forgive yourself for your mistakes and to treat yourself with kindness and understanding, you are better able to stay strong and resilient. Self-compassion allows you to stay focused on your goals, even when you stumble, and to keep moving forward with a sense of purpose and determination. To practice self-compassion, it is important to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. This means being gentle with yourself when you make mistakes and offering yourself encouragement and support when you are struggling. It also means taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally, and making time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. By practicing self-compassion, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Building a resilient mindset with Stoicism is about developing the mental strength and resilience needed to face life's challenges head-on. It is about embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth, practicing self-discipline, embracing change, managing your emotions, staying focused on your purpose, practicing gratitude, maintaining perspective, seeking support, practicing self-care, staying flexible, staying present, maintaining hope, learning from failure, staying optimistic, staying true to your values, and practicing self-compassion. By cultivating these qualities, you build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with strength and determination, and to live a life of greater peace, purpose, and fulfillment. As you cultivate resilience through Stoicism, you begin to realize that true strength doesn't come solely from overcoming great challenges. It also emerges from the small, consistent actions you take each day. The way you structure your daily routine, the habits you choose to embrace, and the mindset you bring to each moment all play a crucial role in shaping who you become. Imagine if your daily life was a series of deliberate, purposeful acts, each one contributing to your growth, inner peace, and sense of fulfillment. What if, through the power of simple Stoic habits, you could transform not only your routine, but your entire approach to life? The journey to lasting change and continuous growth often begins not with grand gestures, but with the small, steady steps you take every day. Stoicism offers a wealth of practical habits that can be woven into your daily life, guiding you to live with intention, focus, and clarity. These habits are not about adding more to your already busy schedule, but about enhancing the quality of your time and the depth of your experience. Consider how different your life could be if you started each day with a clear sense of purpose, if you approached every challenge with calm and determination, and if you ended each day with a sense of fulfillment and peace. These are not distant ideals. They are achievable through the daily practice of Stoic principles. By integrating Stoic habits into your routine, you can create a life that is not only resilient, but also deeply meaningful. One of the most powerful Stoic habits you can adopt is the practice of morning reflection. The Stoics believed that the way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. By taking a few moments each morning to reflect on your intentions, your goals, and the kind of person you want to be, you set a clear direction for your day. This practice is about grounding yourself in your values and purpose, ensuring that your actions align with the principles you hold dear. Morning reflection doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as asking yourself a few guiding questions. What is my purpose today? How will I handle the challenges I may face? What virtues will I strive to embody? By starting your day with these reflections, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for whatever comes your way. You cultivate a mindset of readiness and resolve, which empowers you to navigate your day with clarity and focus. Another essential Stoic habit is the practice of mindfulness throughout the day. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. The Stoics understood that much of our suffering comes not from external events, but from our own thoughts and reactions. By practicing mindfulness, you create a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose how you will react to each situation. To incorporate mindfulness into your routine, start by bringing your full attention to whatever task you are engaged in, whether it's eating, working, or simply walking. Notice the sensations in your body, the thoughts that arise, and the emotions you feel. By observing these without judgment, you become more aware of your inner state and more in control of your reactions. This practice helps you stay grounded, calm, and focused, even in the midst of a busy day. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of practicing gratitude daily. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a sense of contentment and appreciation for the present moment. By regularly reflecting on the things you are grateful for, you cultivate a positive mindset that can help you navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and joy. Incorporating gratitude into your routine can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be small or significant, anything from the warmth of the sun on your face to the support of a loved one. By making this a daily practice, you train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life, which can enhance your overall well-being and sense of fulfillment. Another powerful Stoic habit is the practice of evening reflection. Just as the morning is a time to set intentions, the evening is an opportunity to reflect on your day, to assess how you lived up to your values, and to consider what you can improve tomorrow. This habit of self-reflection is essential for continuous growth, as it allows you to learn from your experiences and make adjustments as needed. In your evening reflection, ask yourself questions like, did I act according to my values today? How did I handle the challenges I faced? What could I do differently tomorrow? By taking the time to reflect on your day, you gain valuable insights into your behavior and mindset, which helps you to grow and improve continuously. This practice also brings closure to your day, allowing you to rest with a clear mind and a sense of peace. The Stoics also valued the practice of negative visualization, which involves imagining the loss of the things you cherish. While this may seem counterintuitive, the purpose of negative visualization is not to dwell on the negative, but to appreciate what you have more fully. By contemplating the possibility of loss, you become more aware of the impermanence of life and the importance of cherishing each moment. To practice negative visualization, take a few moments each day to imagine life without something or someone you deeply value. This could be a person, a possession, or even a particular ability or opportunity. Reflect on how much they mean to you and how fortunate you are to have them in your life. This practice can deepen your gratitude and help you appreciate the present moment more fully, while also preparing you mentally for the inevitability of change and loss. Another daily Stoic habit that can transform your routine is the practice of setting intentions for the day. Setting intentions is about being deliberate in how you approach your day, rather than simply reacting to whatever comes your way. It involves identifying what is most important to you and aligning your actions with those priorities. Each morning, take a few minutes to set your intentions for the day. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? How do I want to feel? What kind of person do I want to be? By setting clear intentions, you create a roadmap for your day, which helps you stay focused and aligned with your values. This practice also encourages you to live with purpose, rather than letting the day pass by in a blur of activity. The Stoics also believed in the power of practicing self-discipline as a daily habit. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and stay focused on your goals, even when it's difficult. It is a key component of resilience, as it allows you to persevere in the face of challenges and distractions. To develop self-discipline, start by identifying areas in your life where you struggle to stay focused or where you tend to give in to temptation. This could be anything from procrastination to unhealthy eating habits. Once you have identified these areas, set small, achievable goals to help you build discipline. For example, if you struggle with procrastination, commit to working on a task for just 10 minutes each day. Over time, as you build your self-discipline, you will find it easier to stay focused and to resist the pull of distractions. Another Stoic habit that can enhance your daily routine is the practice of simplifying your life. The Stoics believed that much of our stress and anxiety comes from the unnecessary complexity we create in our lives. By simplifying your life, you reduce the mental clutter and create space for what truly matters. To simplify your life, start by decluttering your physical space. Remove items that you no longer need or that do not bring you joy. This can include everything from clothes and household items to digital clutter like emails and apps. As you clear away the excess, you create a more peaceful and organized environment, which can have a positive impact on your mental state. In addition to decluttering your physical space, consider simplifying your schedule. Identify activities and commitments that drain your energy or do not align with your values, and consider whether they are truly necessary. By eliminating or reducing these activities, you create more time and space for the things that matter most to you, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. Another important Stoic habit is the practice of self-compassion. The Stoics recognized that while it's important to strive for self-improvement, it's equally important to be kind and compassionate to yourself along the way. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend, especially during difficult times. To practice self-compassion, start by paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice how you speak to yourself, especially when you make a mistake or face a challenge. If you find that your self-talk is harsh or critical, try to reframe it in a more compassionate way. For example, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," say, "I'm doing my best, and it's okay to make mistakes." By practicing self-compassion, you build a supportive inner voice that helps you stay resilient and motivated, even when things are tough. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of practicing humility as a daily habit. Humility is about recognizing your own limitations and being open to learning and growth. It involves letting go of the need to be right or to always have the answers, and instead approaching life with curiosity and a willingness to learn. To practice humility, start by acknowledging that there is always more to learn and that you don't have all the answers. Be open to feedback and new perspectives, and be willing to admit when you are wrong. This mindset of humility allows you to grow and improve continuously, as you are always seeking to learn from your experiences and from others. Another daily Stoic habit that can transform your routine is the practice of generosity. The Stoics believed that generosity is not just about giving material things, but also about giving of your time, energy, and attention to others. Acts of generosity help to build connections, foster goodwill, and create a sense of purpose and fulfillment. To practice generosity, look for opportunities each day to give to others. This could be something as simple as offering a kind word, helping a colleague with a task, or volunteering your time to a cause you care about. By making generosity a daily habit, you not only contribute to the well-being of others, but also cultivate a sense of connection and purpose in your own life. Another key, Stoic habit is the practice of patience. The Stoics believed that patience is essential to maintaining a resilient and peaceful mindset. Patience involves accepting that not everything will happen on your timeline and being willing to wait for things to unfold in their own time. To practice patience, start by recognizing when you are feeling impatient or frustrated. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that some things are beyond your control and that waiting is a natural part of life. By practicing patience, you build the resilience needed to handle life's ups and downs with grace and calm. The Stoics also valued the practice of forgiveness as a daily habit. Forgiveness involves letting go of anger, resentment, or the desire for revenge, and instead choosing to move forward with compassion and understanding. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the burden of negative emotions. To practice forgiveness, start by identifying any grudges or resentments you are holding on to. Consider how these emotions are affecting your well-being and whether they are serving any constructive purpose. Then, make a conscious choice to let go of these negative emotions and to move forward with a sense of compassion and understanding. By practicing forgiveness, you create space for healing and growth, both for yourself and for others. Another important Stoic habit is the practice of courage. The Stoics believed that courage is essential to living a life of integrity and purpose. Courage involves standing up for what you believe in, even in the face of fear or adversity. To practice courage, start by identifying areas in your life where you are holding back due to fear or self-doubt. This could be anything from speaking up in a meeting to pursuing a passion or goal that you've been avoiding. Then, take small steps toward facing your fears and building your confidence. By practicing courage daily, you build the strength and resilience needed to live a life that is true to your values and purpose. The Stoics also believed in the importance of practicing acceptance as a daily habit. Acceptance involves acknowledging and embracing the reality of your circumstances rather than resisting or denying them. It is about finding peace in the present moment, even when things are not as you would like them to be. To practice acceptance, start by recognizing when you are resisting reality or wishing that things were different. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that acceptance does not mean giving up, but rather choosing to work with what is, rather than against it. By practicing acceptance, you build the resilience needed to navigate life's challenges with grace and peace. Another key Stoic habit is the practice of reflection on mortality. The Stoics believed that reflecting on the impermanence of life helps to put things into perspective and to focus on what truly matters. By regularly contemplating your mortality, you are reminded of the preciousness of each moment and the importance of living a life of purpose and integrity. To practice reflection on mortality, take a few moments each day to reflect on the fact that life is finite and that each day is a gift. Consider how you want to spend your time and what legacy you want to leave behind. This practice can help you to prioritize your goals and values and to live each day with a sense of purpose and intention. Another daily Stoic habit that can transform your routine is the practice of detachment. Detachment involves letting go of your attachment to specific outcomes or desires and instead focusing on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety that come from trying to control things that are beyond your control. To practice detachment, start by identifying areas in your life where you are overly attached to a specific outcome or desire. This could be anything from a goal you are striving to achieve to a relationship or possession you value. Then, remind yourself that while it is okay to have goals and desires, your happiness and well-being should not be dependent on achieving them. By practicing detachment, you create a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. Finally, the Stoics believed in the importance of practicing presence as a daily habit. Presence involves being fully engaged in the moment, rather than being distracted by thoughts of the past or future. By practicing presence, you deepen your connection to yourself and to the world around you, and you enhance the quality of your experiences. To practice presence, start by bringing your full attention to whatever you are doing in the moment, whether it's having a conversation, working on a task, or simply enjoying a meal. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you, and let go of any distractions or thoughts that take you away from the present moment. By practicing presence, you create a sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from being fully engaged in life. Incorporating Stoic habits into your daily routine can transform your life by helping you to live with greater intention, focus, and clarity. These habits, morning reflection, mindfulness, gratitude, evening reflection, negative visualization, setting intentions, self-discipline, simplicity, self-compassion, humility, generosity, patience, forgiveness, courage, acceptance, reflection on mortality, detachment, and presence are practical ways to bring Stoic principles into your daily life, guiding you toward continuous growth and a deeper sense of fulfillment. By making these habits a part of your routine, you build a foundation for a life of resilience, purpose, and inner peace. As you begin to weave Stoic habits into your daily life, you notice a shift in how you experience the world. The small, deliberate actions you take each day start to cultivate a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and resilience. Yet, even with these practices, life inevitably presents challenges, moments of difficulty that test your strength and resolve. What if, instead of viewing these challenges as burdens or obstacles, you could see them as opportunities for growth? What if every setback was actually a chance to build your character, to deepen your understanding, and to move closer to becoming the person you want to be? The way you perceive challenges can either limit you or empower you. Stoicism offers a powerful tool for transforming your perspective on adversity, one that allows you to reframe challenges not as threats, but as valuable opportunities. By shifting how you view obstacles, you can turn even the most difficult situations into stepping stones on your path to growth and self-improvement. Imagine being able to face any challenge with a mindset that is not only resilient, but also optimistic. You no longer see difficulties as reasons to give up or as signs of failure. Instead, you see them as necessary parts of your journey, tests that are there to strengthen you, to teach you, and to push you beyond your current limits. This shift in perspective doesn't make challenges disappear, but it does change how you respond to them. It gives you the power to turn adversity into advantage, to transform setbacks into opportunities for growth. Reframing challenges begins with the understanding that your perception shapes your reality. The Stoics believed that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but the views we take of them. This idea is at the heart of Stoic reframing, changing the way you interpret and respond to challenges in order to empower yourself rather than be defeated by them. The first step in reframing challenges is to recognize that adversity is an inevitable part of life. No one goes through life without encountering difficulties, setbacks, or disappointments. But what if these challenges were not signs that you were on the wrong path, but rather indicators that you were exactly where you needed to be? The Stoics teach us that adversity is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced as an essential part of the human experience. By accepting this truth, you begin to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to practice resilience, courage, and wisdom. To begin reframing challenges, it's important to examine the stories you tell yourself about the difficulties you face. Often, we interpret challenges in a way that reinforces feelings of helplessness or fear. For example, when faced with a setback, you might tell yourself, "This always happens to me," or "I'm just not good enough." These thoughts, while understandable, are not helpful. They only serve to make you feel more stuck and disempowered. Instead, the Stoics encourage us to challenge these narratives and to replace them with more empowering ones. Rather than seeing a setback as a failure, you might reframe it as a learning opportunity. What can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? Another key Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to focus on what you can control. When faced with a difficult situation, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the aspects that are outside your control, other people's actions, external circumstances, or the outcomes of your efforts. But the Stoics remind us that our power lies not in controlling these external factors, but in controlling our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By shifting your focus to what you can control, you take back your power and create the possibility for positive change. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties you face, but rather approaching them with a mindset that emphasizes your ability to respond effectively, no matter what. Another powerful Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to practice what is known as "the obstacle is the way." This principle, famously articulated by the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, suggests that the very thing you perceive as an obstacle can become the path forward. In other words, the challenges you face are not detours from your journey, but integral parts of it. By embracing this perspective, you transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and progress. For example, if you encounter a roadblock in your career, rather than seeing it as a sign that you should give up, you might reframe it as a challenge that will make you stronger and more resourceful in the long run. One way to apply this principle in your life is to ask yourself, how can this challenge make me better? What strengths can I develop as a result of this experience? By focusing on the potential benefits of adversity, you shift your mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. You begin to see challenges not as things that happen to you, but as things that happen for you, opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become more resilient. Another Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to practice gratitude, even in difficult times. It may seem counterintuitive to be grateful for your struggles, but the Stoics believed that gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your perspective on adversity. When you practice gratitude, you focus on the positive aspects of a situation, even when things are tough. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties you face, but rather recognizing that even in the midst of struggle, there is something to be thankful for, whether it's the lessons you're learning, the strength you're building, or the support you're receiving from others. To practice gratitude in the face of challenges, start by identifying one positive aspect of the situation, no matter how small. It could be something as simple as the fact that you're still standing, despite everything that's happened, or it could be a realization you've had, a skill you've developed, or a relationship that's grown stronger as a result of the challenge. By focusing on these positives, you shift your attention away from what's going wrong and toward what's going right, which can help you feel more empowered and less overwhelmed. Another important aspect of reframing challenges is to recognize that they are temporary. When you're in the midst of a difficult situation, it's easy to feel like the struggle will never end, like you'll be stuck in this place forever. But the Stoics remind us that everything is impermanent, both the good and the bad. This recognition can bring a sense of relief and perspective, helping you to see that no matter how challenging the situation may be, it will eventually pass. To cultivate this perspective, it can be helpful to practice what the Stoics called negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario and then reminding yourself that even if that scenario were to happen, it wouldn't last forever. By confronting your fears head-on, you reduce their power over you and remind yourself that you have the strength to endure whatever comes your way. This practice can help you to face challenges with a sense of calm and resilience, knowing that they are just one part of a larger, ever-changing picture. Another way to reframe challenges is to view them as opportunities to practice virtue. The Stoics believed that every challenge is an opportunity to practice the virtues of courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. For example, when faced with a difficult decision, you can practice wisdom by carefully considering your options and choosing the path that aligns with your values. When dealing with a challenging person, you can practice patience and compassion. And when you encounter a setback, you can practice resilience and perseverance. By viewing challenges as opportunities to practice virtue, you shift your focus from the external circumstances to your internal character. You begin to see that the true measure of your success is not whether you avoid challenges, but how you respond to them. This mindset empowers you to face difficulties with grace and dignity, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity to become a better, stronger, and wiser person. Another Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to detach from the outcome. The Stoics believed that while we should strive to do our best in every situation, we should also recognize that the outcome is not entirely within our control. By detaching from the outcome, you free yourself from the anxiety and stress that come from trying to control things that are beyond your control. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. To practice detachment, remind yourself that your worth is not determined by the outcome of a situation, but by the effort and integrity you bring to it. Whether you succeed or fail, what matters most is that you acted in accordance with your values and did your best. By detaching from the outcome, you create a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows you to face challenges with confidence and grace. Another powerful way to reframe challenges is to see them as part of your growth journey. The Stoics believed that life is a series of lessons, each one designed to help you grow and evolve. When you view challenges as opportunities for growth, you shift your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance. You begin to see that every difficulty you face is a chance to learn, to improve, and to become more of who you are meant to be. To cultivate this mindset, start by asking yourself, what is this challenge teaching me? How can I use this experience to grow and become better? By focusing on the growth opportunities within each challenge, you transform adversity into a powerful tool for self-improvement. You begin to see that every setback is a setup for a comeback, and that each obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen your character and build your resilience. Another important aspect of reframing challenges is to recognize that you are not alone. The Stoics believed that we are all connected, and that the challenges we face are part of the shared human experience. When you recognize that others have faced similar challenges and have overcome them, you gain a sense of perspective and solidarity. You realize that you are not the only one who has struggled, and that others have found ways to rise above their difficulties. To cultivate this perspective, it can be helpful to seek out stories of others who have faced and overcome challenges similar to yours. Whether it's through reading books, listening to podcasts, or talking to people you admire, learning about others' experiences can inspire you and give you the strength to keep going. By connecting with the shared human experience, you gain a sense of perspective that helps you to reframe your own challenges as part of the larger journey of life. Another way to reframe challenges is to practice patience. The Stoics believed that patience is essential to facing challenges with grace and resilience. Patience involves recognizing that things may not happen on your timeline and being willing to wait for the right moment to act. It also involves accepting that progress may be slow and that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. To practice patience, remind yourself that growth takes time and that challenges are part of the process. Instead of rushing to overcome a difficulty, take a step back and allow yourself the time and space to navigate it at your own pace. By practicing patience, you build the resilience needed to face challenges with calm and clarity, knowing that in time you will find your way through. Another Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to practice forgiveness. The Stoics believed that holding on to anger, resentment, or blame only adds to your suffering. By practicing forgiveness, you free yourself from the burden of negative emotions and create space for healing and growth. To practice forgiveness, start by acknowledging any feelings of anger, resentment, or blame that you are holding on to. Then, make a conscious choice to let go of these emotions and to move forward with compassion and understanding. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the negative impact it has on your life. By practicing forgiveness, you create a sense of peace and resilience that allows you to face challenges with a clear mind and an open heart. Another important aspect of reframing challenges is to practice humility. The Stoics believed that humility is essential to facing challenges with grace and dignity. Humility involves recognizing your own limitations and being open to learning from your experiences. It also involves letting go of the need to be right or to always have the answers, and instead approaching life with curiosity and a willingness to learn. To practice humility, remind yourself that you don't have to have all the answers, and that it's okay to ask for help or to admit when you're wrong. By approaching challenges with humility, you create a mindset of openness and growth, which allows you to learn from your experiences and to become stronger and wiser as a result. Another Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to practice acceptance. The Stoics believed that acceptance is essential to facing challenges with peace and resilience. Acceptance involves acknowledging and embracing the reality of your circumstances rather than resisting or denying them. It is about finding peace in the present moment, even when things are not as you would like them to be. To practice acceptance, start by recognizing when you are resisting reality or wishing that things were different. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that acceptance does not mean giving up, but rather choosing to work with what is, rather than against it. By practicing acceptance, you build the resilience needed to navigate life's challenges with grace and peace. Finally, another powerful Stoic technique for reframing challenges is to practice detachment from the outcome. The Stoics believed that while we should strive to do our best in every situation, we should also recognize that the outcome is not entirely within our control. By detaching from the outcome, you free yourself from the anxiety and stress that come from trying to control things that are beyond your control. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. To practice detachment, remind yourself that your worth is not determined by the outcome of a situation, but by the effort and integrity you bring to it. Whether you succeed or fail, what matters most is that you acted in accordance with your values and did your best. By detaching from the outcome, you create a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows you to face challenges with confidence and grace. Learning to reframe challenges with Stoicism is a powerful way to transform your perspective on adversity and to cultivate a mindset of growth and resilience. By shifting how you view obstacles, seeing them not as threats, but as opportunities for growth, you empower yourself to face difficulties with grace, dignity, and determination. Through the Stoic practices of acceptance, detachment, gratitude, patience, forgiveness, humility, and focusing on what you can control, you build the mental strength and resilience needed to turn adversity into advantage and to navigate life's challenges with a sense of purpose and inner peace. As you continue to reframe challenges with the wisdom of Stoicism, you begin to see the value in stripping away the excess, the unnecessary distractions, the clutter of thoughts, and the attachments that complicate your life. There's a certain freedom that comes with simplifying, with focusing on what truly matters. What if the key to a more fulfilled, peaceful existence lies not in acquiring more, but in letting go of what weighs you down? Imagine a life where you are not constantly overwhelmed by the demands of the world, but instead you find clarity and contentment in the simplicity of living with purpose and intention. In a world that often celebrates accumulation, more possessions, more achievements, more status, the Stoic path offers a refreshing counterpoint, the art of embracing simplicity. Stoicism teaches that true contentment doesn't come from external wealth or endless desires, but from a life aligned with virtue and essential values. By focusing on what truly matters, you can shed the unnecessary and create space for what brings genuine fulfillment. The pursuit of simplicity is not about depriving yourself or living with nothing. Instead, it's about recognizing that less can often be more, that by reducing the distractions and focusing on the essentials, you gain a clearer view of what brings meaning and joy to your life. It's about making conscious choices to eliminate the noise, so you can hear the quiet truth of what your soul really needs. The first step in embracing simplicity is to assess the clutter that fills your life, both physically and mentally. Our lives are often burdened by excess, whether it's material possessions that we don't really need, commitments that drain our energy, or thoughts that keep us stuck in a cycle of worry and regret. Stoicism invites you to take a closer look at these areas and to ask yourself, what truly adds value to my life? What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? When you begin to declutter your physical space, you might be surprised at the mental clarity that follows. The things you own often end up owning you, requiring time, energy, and attention to maintain. By letting go of the excess, you free yourself from the burden of managing it all. You create a living environment that is not only more peaceful, but also more reflective of your true values and priorities. This is the essence of minimalism, a lifestyle where less is more and where every item, every commitment has a purpose. But simplicity isn't just about reducing physical clutter. It's also about simplifying your schedule and commitments. The Stoics understood that time is our most precious resource and that how we spend it reflects our true values. When you fill your days with activities that don't align with your goals or bring you joy, you waste not only time, but also energy and mental space. By simplifying your schedule, you create room for the things that truly matter, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply enjoying moments of peace and reflection. To simplify your life, it's important to prioritize what's most important to you. This requires a deep understanding of your values and a willingness to let go of what doesn't serve them. It might mean saying no to opportunities that don't align with your goals, or setting boundaries to protect your time and energy. It might also mean reevaluating your relationships and letting go of those that drain you rather than uplift you. Simplifying your life also involves cultivating a mindset of contentment and sufficiency. In a culture that often equates happiness with having more, the Stoic path teaches that true contentment comes from appreciating what you already have. This doesn't mean you can't strive for more, but it does mean recognizing that your worth and happiness are not dependent on external things. By practicing gratitude and focusing on the abundance in your life, you cultivate a sense of contentment that is not easily shaken by the ups and downs of life. Another aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to live with intention. The Stoics believed that every action should be guided by purpose and aligned with virtue. When you live with intention, You make choices that are in harmony with your values, rather than being driven by impulse or external pressures. This intentionality brings a sense of clarity and focus to your life, allowing you to move through your days with greater ease and purpose. Living with intention also means being mindful of the choices you make and their impact on your well-being. It's about asking yourself, is this adding to my life or taking away from it? Does this choice align with my values, or is it a distraction from what truly matters? By making decisions with intention, you simplify your life by focusing on what is truly important, and you free yourself from the unnecessary complications that often arise from unconsidered choices. Simplicity is also about finding contentment in the present moment. The Stoics taught that the present is the only time we truly have, and that worrying about the future or dwelling on the past only detracts from our ability to live fully now. By simplifying your life, you create space to be fully present, to appreciate the simple pleasures of life, and to find joy in the here and now. To cultivate this presence, it's helpful to practice mindfulness in your daily life. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment or distraction. By focusing on the here and now, you can reduce the mental clutter that often comes from overthinking, worrying, or regretting. This practice helps you to appreciate the simplicity of the moment and to find contentment in the simple act of being. Another way to embrace simplicity is to practice moderation in all things. The Stoics believed in the importance of temperance, or the ability to regulate one's desires and impulses. By practicing moderation, you avoid the excesses that can complicate your life and instead focus on what is truly necessary and fulfilling. This doesn't mean denying yourself pleasure, but rather enjoying it in a balanced and mindful way. Moderation can be applied to all areas of your life, whether it's your diet, your spending habits, or your use of technology. By practicing moderation, you simplify your life by reducing the noise and distractions that often come from overindulgence. You create space for what truly matters, and you cultivate a sense of balance and harmony in your life. Another important aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to let go of the need for constant achievement or recognition. In a culture that often values success and accomplishment above all else, the Stoic path teaches that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values, rather than from external validation. By letting go of the need for constant achievement, you free yourself from the pressure to constantly do more, be more, or have more. Instead, you focus on being true to yourself and living a life of purpose and integrity. Letting go of the need for achievement doesn't mean giving up on your goals or ambitions, but rather redefining what success means to you. Success, in the Stoic sense, is not about external accomplishments, but about living a life that is true to your values and principles. By focusing on what truly matters to you, you simplify your life by letting go of the distractions and pressures that often come from the pursuit of external validation. Another key aspect of embracing simplicity is the practice of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is essential to living a simple and focused life. Self-discipline involves the ability to control your impulses, to stay focused on your goals, and to resist the distractions and temptations that can complicate your life. By practicing self-discipline, you simplify your life by staying true to your values and avoiding the unnecessary complications that often arise from impulsive or unconsidered actions. Self-discipline can be cultivated through small, consistent actions. Start by setting clear goals and holding yourself accountable to them. This might involve creating a daily routine that aligns with your values, setting boundaries to protect your time and energy, or practicing mindfulness to stay focused on the present moment. By building self-discipline, you create a foundation for a simple and intentional life. Another way to embrace simplicity is to cultivate a mindset of sufficiency. The Stoics believed that contentment comes from recognizing that you have enough, rather than constantly striving for more. By focusing on what you have, rather than what you lack, you simplify your life by reducing the constant craving for more that often leads to stress and dissatisfaction. To cultivate a mindset of sufficiency, practice gratitude for what you already have. Take time each day to reflect on the abundance in your life, whether it's the love of family and friends, the beauty of nature, or the simple pleasures of daily life. By focusing on what you have, you create a sense of contentment and fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. Another important aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to let go of perfectionism. The Stoics understood that striving for perfection can lead to unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. Instead of striving for perfection, the Stoics encouraged us to focus on doing our best and accepting that mistakes and imperfections are a natural part of life. To let go of perfectionism, start by recognizing that perfection is an illusion and that true success comes from progress, not perfection. Focus on doing your best in each moment rather than trying to achieve an impossible standard. By letting go of perfectionism, you simplify your life by reducing the stress and pressure that often come from trying to be perfect. Another key aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to prioritize rest and relaxation. In a world that often values busyness and productivity, the Stoic path teaches that rest and relaxation are essential to a balanced and fulfilling life. By prioritizing rest, you create space for renewal and rejuvenation, which is essential to maintaining your well-being and resilience. To prioritize rest, start by creating a daily routine that includes time for relaxation and self-care. This might involve setting aside time each day for meditation, reading, or simply enjoying a quiet moment of reflection. By making rest a priority, you simplify your life by creating a sense of balance and harmony, which is essential to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Another way to embrace simplicity is to practice detachment from material possessions. The Stoics believed that true wealth is found not in material things, but in the richness of the soul. By detaching from the desire for material possessions, you simplify your life by reducing the clutter and distractions that often come from the pursuit of wealth. To practice detachment, start by decluttering your physical space and letting go of items that no longer serve you. Focus on keeping only the things that bring you joy or have a practical purpose. By simplifying your physical space, you create a living environment that is more peaceful and reflective of your true values. In addition to decluttering your physical space, it's also important to simplify your digital life. In a world that is increasingly dominated by technology, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant influx of information and distractions. By simplifying your digital life, you create space for more meaningful and intentional use of technology. To simplify your digital life, start by reducing the time you spend on social media or other digital distractions. Set boundaries for when and how you use technology, and focus on using it in ways that align with your values and goals. By simplifying your digital life, you reduce the mental clutter and create space for more meaningful connections and experiences. Another important aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to cultivate a mindset of abundance. The Stoics believed that true wealth is found in the abundance of the soul, rather than in material possessions. By focusing on the abundance in your life, you simplify your life by reducing the constant craving for more that often leads to stress and dissatisfaction. To cultivate a mindset of abundance, practice gratitude for what you already have. Take time each day to reflect on the abundance in your life, whether it's the love of family and friends, the beauty of nature, or the simple pleasures of daily life. By focusing on the abundance in your life, you create a sense of contentment and fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. Another way to embrace simplicity is to practice mindfulness in your daily life. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment or distraction. By practicing mindfulness, you simplify your life by reducing the mental clutter that often comes from overthinking, worrying, or regretting. To practice mindfulness, start by bringing your full attention to whatever you are doing in the moment, whether it's having a conversation, working on a task, or simply enjoying a meal. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you, and let go of any distractions or thoughts that take you away from the present moment. By practicing mindfulness, you create a sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from being fully engaged in life. Another key aspect of embracing simplicity is learning to let go of the need for control. The Stoics believed that true peace comes from accepting the things we cannot change and focusing on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By letting go of the need for control, you simplify your life by reducing the stress and anxiety that often come from trying to control things that are beyond your control. To let go of the need for control, start by recognizing when you are trying to control things that are beyond your power. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that you can only control your own actions and attitudes, not the actions of others or the outcomes of situations. By letting go of the need for control, you create a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. Finally, another powerful way to embrace simplicity is to focus on living a life of purpose and intention. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values and principles, rather than from external accomplishments or material possessions. By focusing on what truly matters to you, you simplify your life by letting go of the distractions and pressures that often come from the pursuit of external validation. To live a life of purpose and intention, start by identifying your core values and goals. What is most important to you? What do you want to accomplish in your life? Once you have identified your values and goals, focus on making choices that align with them. This might involve setting boundaries to protect your time and energy, or saying no to opportunities that don't align with your goals. By living a life of purpose and intention, you simplify your life by focusing on what truly matters, and you create a sense of fulfillment and peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. Embracing simplicity through the principles of Stoicism is a powerful way to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and peace. By focusing on what truly matters, whether it's your values, relationships, or the present moment, you simplify your life by letting go of the unnecessary and creating space for what brings you joy and meaning. Through the practices of decluttering, mindfulness, moderation, detachment, and living with intention, you can cultivate a life that is not only simpler, but also richer and more fulfilling. By embracing simplicity, you create a foundation for a life of resilience, contentment, and inner peace. As you strip away the excess and embrace simplicity, you find yourself left with the essence of what truly matters. Life, once cluttered with distractions and superficial pursuits, now reveals its core, a life that is not merely lived, but lived well. But what does it mean to live well? How do you ensure that the simplicity you've cultivated leads not only to peace, but to a life of purpose and moral integrity? The answer lies in the cultivation of virtue, the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Imagine a life where every action is guided by wisdom, every challenge is met with courage, every relationship is governed by justice, and every desire is tempered by self-control. This is the Stoic way to moral excellence. In the pursuit of a meaningful life, the Stoics placed virtue at the very center. For them, living a virtuous life wasn't just an ideal to aspire to, it was the very purpose of existence. They believed that true happiness and fulfillment could only be found in the consistent practice of virtue, in aligning one's actions and thoughts with the highest moral standards. This path to moral excellence isn't about following a rigid set of rules. It's about cultivating the qualities that allow you to live in harmony with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, as the pillars of a virtuous life. These virtues are not abstract concepts, but practical guides to living well. By cultivating these virtues, you build a strong moral character, one that can withstand the trials and tribulations of life and remain true to what is good and just. Wisdom, the first of these virtues, is the ability to see things as they truly are. It involves clear thinking, sound judgment, and the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Wisdom is not merely about accumulating information, but about applying that knowledge in a way that leads to right action. It's about discerning what is truly important and making decisions that reflect that understanding. To cultivate wisdom, begin by seeking knowledge and understanding in all aspects of life. This doesn't mean becoming an expert in every field, but rather developing a thoughtful and informed perspective on the world around you. Question your assumptions, seek out new perspectives, and be open to learning from others. Wisdom also involves reflecting on your experiences, learning from your mistakes, and applying those lessons to future decisions. By cultivating wisdom, you develop the clarity and insight needed to navigate life's complexities with grace and integrity. Consider the practice of daily reflection as a tool to deepen your wisdom. Each evening, take a few moments to review your day. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I apply what I know to make better decisions? Did I let emotions cloud my judgment, or did I remain rational and clear-headed? This simple habit can greatly enhance your wisdom, allowing you to continuously refine your thinking and improve your decision-making process. Courage, the second virtue, is the strength to act rightly in the face of fear, danger, or difficulty. It's not the absence of fear, but the resolve to do what is right despite it. Courage involves standing up for what you believe in, even when it's difficult, and persevering in the face of adversity. It's about having the inner strength to stay true to your values, even when the world around you seems to be against you. To cultivate courage, start by facing your fears head-on. Identify the areas in your life where fear holds you back, and take small steps toward confronting those fears. This might involve speaking up in a difficult situation, taking a risk in your career, or standing firm in your beliefs when others disagree. Courage also involves resilience, the ability to keep going even when the path is tough. By cultivating courage, you build the inner strength needed to face life's challenges with confidence and integrity. Courage is not only about grand gestures, it's also about the small, everyday acts of bravery that shape our character. For example, it takes courage to admit when you're wrong, to ask for help when you need it, or to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Each time you practice these small acts of courage, you strengthen your ability to face larger challenges with grace and fortitude. Justice, the third virtue, is about living in harmony with others and treating people fairly and with respect. It involves recognizing the dignity and worth of every individual and acting in a way that upholds the common good. Justice isn't just about following the law, it's about doing what is right, even when it's not easy or convenient. It's about acting with compassion, empathy, and integrity in your interactions with others. To cultivate justice, start by examining how you treat others. Are your actions fair and considerate? Do you treat people with respect, regardless of their status or position? Justice also involves standing up for others, especially those who are vulnerable or marginalized. This might mean speaking out against injustice, advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves, or simply treating others with kindness and understanding in your daily interactions. By cultivating justice, you contribute to a more just and equitable world, and you build relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Justice also requires that you look beyond your immediate circle and consider the impact of your actions on the broader community. This might involve making decisions that are not only good for you, but also beneficial for society as a whole. For example, consider how your purchasing choices affect the environment, or how your words and actions might influence those around you. By adopting a mindset of justice, you ensure that your life contributes to the well-being of others and that your actions align with the greater good. Temperance, the fourth virtue, is the practice of self-control and moderation. It's the ability to regulate your desires and impulses, to avoid excess, and to maintain balance in all aspects of your life. Temperance isn't about denying yourself pleasure, but about enjoying life's pleasures in a balanced and mindful way. It's about knowing your limits and making choices that contribute to your long-term well-being. To cultivate temperance, start by examining the areas in your life where you tend to indulge or overextend yourself. This might involve your eating habits, spending, use of technology, or even the way you manage your time. Practice moderation by setting clear boundaries and sticking to them. For example, if you find yourself spending too much time on social media, set a limit on your daily use and focus on more fulfilling activities. Temperance also involves practicing self-discipline, making choices that align with your long-term goals and values, rather than giving in to short-term impulses. By cultivating temperance, you create a balanced and harmonious life, free from the extremes that often lead to stress and dissatisfaction. Temperance can also be applied to your emotional life. It's about not letting your emotions control your actions, but rather responding to situations with calm and reason. For instance, if you feel anger rising within you, temperance encourages you to pause, take a breath, and consider your response carefully rather than reacting impulsively. This practice not only helps you maintain emotional balance, but also leads to more constructive and positive outcomes in your interactions with others. These four virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are the foundation of a virtuous life. They guide your actions, shape your character, and help you to live in a way that is true to your highest ideals. But cultivating these virtues is not a one-time effort. It's a lifelong practice that requires constant reflection, effort, and growth. To truly cultivate virtue, it's important to integrate these principles into your daily life. This means making a conscious effort to practice these virtues in your thoughts, words, and actions. Start by setting an intention each day to focus on one of the virtues. For example, you might decide to focus on wisdom by making thoughtful decisions, or on courage by taking a bold step toward a goal. Reflect on how you can apply the virtues to the challenges and opportunities that arise throughout your day. Another way to cultivate virtue is to engage in regular self-reflection. The Stoics believed that self-reflection is essential to personal growth and moral development. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on your actions. Did you act according to your values today? Were you wise in your decisions? Did you show courage when faced with fear? Were your actions just and fair? Did you exercise temperance in your desires? By consistently reflecting on these questions, you become more aware of your strengths and weaknesses and can make adjustments to live more virtuously. It's also important to seek out role models who embody the virtues you aspire to cultivate. This could be someone you know personally, a historical figure, or even a fictional character. Study their lives and actions and learn from their example. How did they practice wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? What challenges did they face, and how did they overcome them? By studying the lives of virtuous individuals, you gain insight and inspiration for your own journey toward moral excellence. Another key aspect of cultivating virtue is to be mindful of the company you keep. The people you surround yourself with have a significant influence on your thoughts, actions, and character. Seek out relationships that uplift and support your growth in virtue. Spend time with people who inspire you to be your best self, who challenge you to think deeply and act rightly, and who share your commitment to living a virtuous life. At the same time, be mindful of relationships that may pull you away from your values or lead you into negative patterns of behavior. By choosing your company wisely, you create an environment that supports your growth in virtue. It's also important to remember that cultivating virtue is not about being perfect. The Stoics understood that we are all human and that we will inevitably make mistakes and fall short of our ideals. What matters is not achieving perfection, but striving for continuous improvement. When you stumble, take it as an opportunity to learn and grow and recommit to your practice of virtue. By embracing the journey, rather than focusing on the destination, you cultivate resilience, humility, and the determination to keep moving forward. Another way to cultivate virtue is to practice mindfulness in your daily actions. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment and paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of how you are living and whether your actions are aligned with your values. This awareness allows you to make more deliberate and virtuous choices and to correct course when you notice that you are straying from your ideals. To practice mindfulness, start by bringing your full attention to whatever you are doing in the moment, whether it's a conversation, a task, or even a simple act of kindness. Notice your thoughts, feelings, and impulses, and ask yourself, is this action aligned with my values? Am I acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? By practicing mindfulness, you develop the awareness needed to live a virtuous life. Another important aspect of cultivating virtue is to develop a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. The Stoics believed that living a life of purpose is essential to cultivating virtue and achieving true fulfillment. Purpose gives your life direction and meaning, and it helps you to stay focused on what truly matters. To cultivate a sense of purpose, start by identifying your core values and goals. What is most important to you? What do you want to accomplish in your life? Once you have identified your values and goals, focus on making choices that align with them. This might involve setting clear goals, creating a plan to achieve them, and staying committed to your path, even when it's difficult. By living a life of purpose, you cultivate the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and you create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Another way to cultivate virtue is to practice gratitude. The Stoics believed that gratitude is essential to living a virtuous life. Gratitude helps you to focus on the positive aspects of your life and to appreciate the goodness that surrounds you. It also helps you to cultivate a sense of contentment and to avoid the negative emotions of envy, greed, and resentment. To practice gratitude, start by taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. This might include the people in your life, the opportunities you have, or even the simple pleasures of daily life. By focusing on the good, you cultivate a positive mindset and a sense of contentment that is essential to living a virtuous life. Another important aspect of cultivating virtue is to practice compassion. The Stoics believed that compassion is essential to living a just and virtuous life. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and taking action to alleviate it. It also involves treating others with kindness, understanding, and respect. To practice compassion, start by paying attention to the needs and feelings of others. This might involve listening deeply to someone who is struggling, offering support to someone in need, or simply treating others with kindness and respect in your daily interactions. By practicing compassion, you cultivate the virtue of justice and create a more compassionate and just world. Another way to cultivate virtue is to practice humility. The Stoics believed that humility is essential to living a virtuous life. Humility involves recognizing your own limitations and being open to learning and growth. It also involves letting go of the need to be right or to always have the answers, and instead approaching life with curiosity and a willingness to learn. To practice humility, start by acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. Be open to feedback and new perspectives, and be willing to admit when you are wrong. By practicing humility, you cultivate the virtues of wisdom and temperance, and you create a mindset of openness and growth. Another important aspect of cultivating virtue is to practice self-discipline. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is essential to living a virtuous life. Self-discipline involves the ability to control your impulses, to stay focused on your goals, and to resist the distractions and temptations that can lead you away from your values. To practice self-discipline, start by setting clear goals and holding yourself accountable to them. This might involve creating a daily routine that aligns with your values, setting boundaries to protect your time and energy, or practicing mindfulness to stay focused on the present moment. By building self-discipline, you cultivate the virtues of temperance and wisdom, and you create a foundation for a virtuous life. Virtue also involves the practice of forgiveness, both for yourself and for others. The Stoics believed that holding on to grudges or self-blame only hinders your ability to live a virtuous life. Forgiveness is a way of releasing the emotional burden that comes from resentment or guilt, allowing you to move forward with a clear and peaceful heart. To practice forgiveness, start by reflecting on any lingering resentments or self-judgments you may be holding on to. Ask yourself whether these feelings are serving your growth and well-being, or whether they are holding you back. Then, make a conscious choice to let go of these negative emotions and to embrace a mindset of understanding and compassion. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather freeing yourself from the emotional weight it carries. Another aspect of cultivating virtue is the practice of integrity. Integrity involves being true to your values and principles, even when it's difficult or when no one is watching. It's about consistently aligning your actions with your beliefs and living in a way that is honest, ethical, and true to yourself. To practice integrity, start by clarifying your core values and ensuring that your actions are in alignment with them. This might involve making difficult decisions, such as standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular, or choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. By practicing integrity, you cultivate a sense of inner strength and moral clarity that guides you through life's challenges. Cultivating virtue through the principles of Stoicism is a powerful way to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and moral excellence. By focusing on the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you create a strong moral character that guides your actions and shapes your life. Through practices such as mindfulness, self-reflection, gratitude, compassion, humility, self-discipline, forgiveness, and integrity, you can cultivate these virtues in your daily life, creating a foundation for a life that is not only virtuous, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling. By embracing the journey of cultivating virtue, you create a life that is true to your highest ideals, and you contribute to a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world. As you cultivate the virtues that guide a life of moral excellence, you begin to realize that the journey doesn't end with just knowing what is right. True growth requires continuous reflection, turning inward to examine your thoughts, actions, and motivations. It's in these quiet moments of introspection that you truly align yourself with the values you hold dear. But how often do we pause to reflect on our lives? How often do we take the time to consider whether our actions are truly in line with the person we aspire to be? Imagine if you could develop a practice that not only helps you live with greater intention, but also deepens your understanding of yourself and your place in the world. This is where Stoic meditation comes into play, a practice that invites you to reflect deeply on your life, ensuring that every thought and action is aligned with your highest values. Stoic meditation is not about clearing your mind of thoughts, as in some other meditative practices. Instead, it's about engaging with your thoughts, questioning them, and using them as a tool for self-improvement. It's a practice that encourages you to examine your life closely, to identify where you may be falling short, and to make the necessary adjustments to live more in accordance with Stoic principles. This kind of meditation is a powerful tool for personal growth, as it fosters self-awareness and helps you stay true to your values in the face of life's challenges. One of the central tenets of Stoic meditation is the idea of self-examination. The Stoics believed that it is through regular self-reflection that we can identify our weaknesses, acknowledge our mistakes, and take proactive steps to improve ourselves. This process of self-examination is not about self-criticism, but rather about understanding oneself more deeply and using that understanding to grow. It's about being honest with yourself, acknowledging where you've gone astray, and making a conscious effort to get back on track. To begin practicing Stoic meditation, start by setting aside a few minutes each day for reflection. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed and take some deep breaths to center yourself. Then, begin to reflect on your day, what you did, how you felt, and why you made the choices you did. Ask yourself questions like, did I act according to my values today? Did I show courage in the face of fear? Was I just and fair in my interactions with others? Did I exercise temperance and self-control? These questions help you to examine your actions and to consider whether they were aligned with the virtues you are striving to cultivate. Another important aspect of Stoic meditation is the practice of negative visualization. This involves imagining worst-case scenarios or the loss of things you value, not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare yourself emotionally for whatever may come. By contemplating these possibilities, you can reduce the fear and anxiety associated with them and appreciate what you have more deeply. Negative visualization helps you to remain grounded in the present moment, to let go of attachments, and to focus on what truly matters. For example, you might imagine losing a loved one, facing a significant failure, or experiencing a major life change. As you visualize these scenarios, pay attention to your emotional responses. What feelings arise? How would you cope with these situations? What would you need to do to remain resilient and true to your values in the face of such challenges? By regularly practicing negative visualization, you build emotional resilience and prepare yourself to handle life's difficulties with grace and composure. Stoic meditation also involves reflecting on the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that by contemplating the transient nature of all things, we can better appreciate the present moment and live with greater intention. This reflection is not meant to be morbid, but rather to remind you of the preciousness of life and the importance of living fully and virtuously each day. To practice this aspect of Stoic meditation, Take time to reflect on the impermanence of the things you value, your relationships, your possessions, your achievements, and even your own life. Consider how everything in life is temporary and subject to change. How does this awareness affect your perspective? Does it make you more grateful for what you have? Does it encourage you to focus on what truly matters? By regularly contemplating the impermanence of life, you can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and a commitment to living in alignment with your values. Another key element of Stoic meditation is the examination of your thoughts. The Stoics believed that our thoughts shape our reality, and that by examining and challenging our thoughts, we can gain greater control over our emotions and actions. This practice involves paying attention to your inner dialogue and questioning the beliefs and assumptions that underlie your thoughts. For example, if you find yourself feeling angry or upset, take a moment to examine the thoughts that are contributing to those emotions. What beliefs or assumptions are driving your feelings? Are they based on reality, or are they distorted by fear, anger, or desire? By challenging these thoughts, you can reframe your perspective and respond to situations in a more rational and constructive way. Stoic meditation also encourages you to reflect on your goals and priorities. The Stoics believed that living a meaningful life requires clarity of purpose and a focus on what truly matters. This aspect of meditation involves regularly assessing your goals and ensuring that they are aligned with your values. To practice this, take time to reflect on your long-term goals and how they align with the virtues you are cultivating. Are your goals driven by a desire for external validation, or are they rooted in a commitment to living virtuously? Are you pursuing goals that truly bring you fulfillment, or are you chasing after things that ultimately do not matter? By regularly reflecting on your goals, you can ensure that your actions are aligned with your values and that you are living a life of purpose and intention. Another important practice in Stoic meditation is reflecting on your relationships. The Stoics placed great importance on how we interact with others, believing that our relationships are a key aspect of a virtuous life. This reflection involves examining how you treat others, whether your actions are just and compassionate, and how you can improve your relationships. Consider how you interact with the people in your life, your family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. Are you treating them with respect and kindness? Are you acting with fairness and integrity in your relationships? Are there any conflicts or misunderstandings that need to be addressed? By reflecting on your relationships, you can identify areas where you can improve and take steps to build stronger, more virtuous connections with others. Stoic meditation also involves reflecting on how you handle adversity. The Stoics believed that challenges and difficulties are opportunities for growth, and that how we respond to adversity reveals our true character. This reflection involves examining how you have dealt with challenges in the past and how you can apply Stoic principles to face future difficulties with resilience and courage. Think about a recent challenge or setback you faced. How did you respond? Did you maintain your composure and act in accordance with your values? Or did you allow fear or frustration to dictate your actions? What could you have done differently to handle the situation more effectively? By reflecting on how you handle adversity, you can learn from your experiences and develop the resilience needed to face future challenges with confidence and grace. Another aspect of Stoic meditation is reflecting on your use of time. The Stoics believed that time is our most precious resource and that how we spend it reflects our true priorities. This reflection involves examining how you use your time, whether you are making the most of it, and how you can align your time with your values. Consider how you spend your days. Are you using your time in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling, or are you allowing it to slip away in unproductive or distracting activities? Are there areas where you could be more intentional with your time, focusing on what truly matters? By reflecting on your use of time, you can make more deliberate choices about how you spend your days, ensuring that your time is spent in alignment with your values and goals. Stoic meditation also encourages you to reflect on your character and how you are growing as a person. The Stoics believed that the ultimate goal of life is to become the best version of yourself, to cultivate virtue and wisdom, and to live in harmony with the world around you. This reflection involves examining how you are evolving as a person, what progress you are making, and where you need to focus your efforts. Take a moment to reflect on your personal growth. Are you becoming more wise, more courageous, more just, and more temperate? Are there areas where you need to improve or where you are falling short? What steps can you take to continue growing and developing as a person? By regularly reflecting on your character, you can stay focused on your personal growth and ensure that you are moving in the right direction. Another important practice in Stoic meditation is reflecting on your attitude toward external events. The Stoics believed that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. This reflection involves examining your attitude toward the things that happen to you, whether you are accepting them with equanimity, and how you can cultivate a more Stoic mindset. Think about how you react to external events, especially those that are beyond your control. Do you accept them with grace, or do you resist and struggle against them? Are you able to maintain your inner peace, or do you allow external circumstances to disrupt your tranquility? By reflecting on your attitude toward external events, you can cultivate a more Stoic mindset, one that allows you to remain calm and composed no matter what happens. Stoic meditation also involves reflecting on your sense of purpose and meaning in life. The Stoics believed that living a life of purpose is essential to achieving true fulfillment. This reflection involves examining whether you are living in alignment with your purpose, whether your actions are meaningful, and how you can stay true to your sense of purpose. Consider what gives your life meaning. Are you living in a way that is aligned with your purpose and values? Are you making a positive impact on the world around you? Are you pursuing goals that are truly meaningful to you? By reflecting on your sense of purpose, you can stay focused on what truly matters and ensure that your actions are aligned with your highest ideals. Another aspect of Stoic meditation is reflecting on your emotions and how you manage them. The Stoics believed that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, but that we should not let them control us. This reflection involves examining your emotional responses, whether they are aligned with your values, and how you can manage your emotions more effectively. Take a moment to reflect on your recent emotional experiences. How did you feel and why? Did your emotions lead you to act in ways that were consistent with your values, or did they lead you astray? How can you better manage your emotions in the future? By reflecting on your emotions, you can develop greater emotional intelligence and ensure that your actions are guided by reason rather than by impulse. Stoic meditation also encourages you to reflect on your relationship with yourself. The Stoics believed that self-knowledge and self-acceptance are essential to living a virtuous life. This reflection involves examining how you view yourself, whether you are treating yourself with kindness and respect, and how you can cultivate a more positive and compassionate relationship with yourself. Consider how you view yourself. Are you accepting of your flaws and imperfections, or are you overly critical and judgmental? Are you treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to others? By reflecting on your relationship with yourself, you can develop greater self-awareness and self-compassion, which are essential to living a virtuous life. Another important practice in Stoic meditation is reflecting on your impact on the world. The Stoics believed that our actions have a ripple effect on the world around us, and that we should strive to make a positive impact. This reflection involves examining how your actions are affecting others, whether you are contributing to the common good, and how you can make a positive difference in the world. Think about how your actions are impacting the world around you. Are you making a positive contribution, or are you causing harm? Are there ways you can use your talents and resources to make a positive difference in the lives of others? By reflecting on your impact, you can ensure that your actions are aligned with your values and that you are making a meaningful contribution to the world. Finally, Stoic meditation involves reflecting on your legacy and what you want to leave behind. The Stoics believed that a virtuous life is one that leaves a positive legacy, one that contributes to the well-being of others and the greater good. This reflection involves considering how you want to be remembered, what impact you want to have, and how you can live in a way that leaves a lasting and positive legacy. Take a moment to reflect on your legacy. How do you want to be remembered? What impact do you want to have on the world? What steps can you take now to ensure that you leave a positive and lasting legacy? By reflecting on your legacy, you can live with greater intention and purpose, ensuring that your life makes a meaningful and lasting difference. Stoic meditation is a powerful practice for aligning your actions with your values, deepening your self-awareness, and living a life of purpose and virtue. Through regular reflection on your thoughts, actions, emotions, relationships, and impact on the world, you can ensure that you are living in accordance with Stoic principles and continuously growing as a person. By embracing Stoic meditation, you create a foundation for a life that is not only virtuous, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling. This practice invites you to engage with your life in a more thoughtful and intentional way, guiding you toward a path of greater wisdom, resilience, and moral excellence. As you deepen your practice of Stoic meditation, reflecting on your thoughts and actions, you begin to uncover patterns in your emotional responses, times when anger flares, anxiety rises, or sadness clouds your judgment. You start to see how these emotions, if left unchecked, can disrupt your inner peace and lead you away from the virtuous life you strive to live. But what if you could master these emotions? What if, instead of being ruled by them, you could learn to control them, channeling their energy in ways that serve your highest goals? Imagine a life where you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions, where you can face each day with calm and clarity, regardless of what challenges arise. The Stoics understood that while emotions are a natural part of the human experience, they don't have to control us. They believed that through deliberate practice and self-discipline, we can learn to master our emotions, maintaining inner calm even in the face of life's inevitable storms. This mastery doesn't mean suppressing or denying your emotions. Rather, it's about understanding them, managing them, and using them to your advantage. By cultivating inner calm, you create a stable foundation from which to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. One of the first steps in mastering your emotions is to recognize that they are often the result of your thoughts and perceptions. The Stoics taught that it's not external events that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. This means that by changing the way you think about a situation, you can change the way you feel about it. For example, if someone criticizes you, you might initially feel hurt or angry. But if you step back and reconsider the criticism, you might realize that it's an opportunity for growth, or that the person's opinion doesn't define your worth. By shifting your perspective, you can diffuse the negative emotions and respond with calm and clarity. To begin this practice, start by paying attention to your emotional triggers. Notice the situations or thoughts that tend to provoke strong emotional reactions. When you feel anger, fear, or sadness rising within you, pause and ask yourself, what thoughts are contributing to these feelings? Are they based on reality, or are they exaggerated or distorted? By examining your thoughts, you can identify the cognitive patterns that fuel your emotions and begin to challenge and change them. Another key Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is the practice of detachment. The Stoics believed that much of our emotional turmoil comes from our attachment to things outside of our control, whether it's the approval of others, the outcome of a situation, or the behavior of those around us. By learning to detach from these external factors, you can free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that often accompanies them. Detachment doesn't mean indifference or apathy. It's about recognizing that while you can influence certain outcomes, you ultimately cannot control them. Instead, you focus on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. When you practice detachment, you allow yourself to engage fully with life without becoming emotionally entangled in outcomes that are beyond your control. This brings a sense of inner calm and resilience, as you are no longer constantly reacting to the external world. For instance, if you're facing a difficult situation at work, instead of worrying about the outcome, focus on what you can do to manage your responsibilities effectively. By detaching from the need for a specific outcome, you reduce anxiety and create space for a more balanced and thoughtful response. This approach helps you maintain your composure and make decisions based on reason rather than emotion. Another important technique for mastering your emotions is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to your present experience with an attitude of openness and acceptance. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of your emotions as they arise, allowing you to observe them without immediately reacting to them. This awareness gives you the space to choose how you want to respond, rather than being swept away by your emotions. To practice mindfulness, start by bringing your attention to the present moment. Notice the sensations in your body, the thoughts in your mind, and the emotions you are experiencing. Instead of trying to push your emotions away or act on them immediately, simply observe them. Acknowledge what you are feeling without judgment. This practice helps you develop a sense of inner calm as you learn to be present with your emotions without being controlled by them. Mindfulness can be particularly helpful in managing strong emotions like anger or anxiety. When you feel these emotions arising, take a few deep breaths and focus on the physical sensations in your body. Notice where the emotion is manifesting, whether it's a tightness in your chest, a clenching of your jaw, or a racing heart. By bringing your attention to these sensations, you can create a sense of distance from the emotion, allowing it to dissipate more quickly and preventing it from taking over your actions. Another Stoic technique for mastering your emotions is the practice of reframing. Reframing involves changing the way you interpret a situation in order to change your emotional response to it. This is closely related to the Stoic concept of perception, that it's not events themselves that cause our emotions, but the way we perceive those events. For example, if you face a setback or disappointment, you might initially feel frustrated or defeated, but by reframing the situation, you can see it as an opportunity for growth or as a challenge to be overcome. Instead of viewing the setback as a failure, you can view it as a valuable learning experience that will make you stronger in the long run. By reframing your perspective, you can transform negative emotions into positive ones, maintaining your inner calm even in difficult circumstances. Reframing is a skill that takes practice. It requires you to step back from your immediate emotional response and to view the situation from a broader perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow? What positive outcomes might arise from this situation? By consistently practicing reframing, you can train your mind to see the silver lining in every cloud, which helps you maintain a more positive and resilient emotional state. Another powerful Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a sense of contentment and reducing feelings of envy, frustration, or resentment. By regularly practicing gratitude, you can cultivate a more positive and balanced emotional state, which helps you stay calm and resilient in the face of challenges. To practice gratitude, take a few moments each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. These can be big or small, anything from the support of loved ones to the beauty of nature to the simple pleasures of daily life. By focusing on what you are thankful for, you can shift your emotional state from one of negativity to one of positivity, creating a sense of inner peace and well-being. Gratitude can also be a powerful tool in moments of emotional turmoil. When you feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, take a step back and remind yourself of the things in your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. This shift in focus can help to diffuse the intensity of your emotions and bring you back to a place of calm and balance. Another important aspect of mastering your emotions is learning to accept what you cannot change. The Stoics believed that much of our emotional suffering comes from resisting reality, wishing that things were different than they are. By learning to accept what is, you can reduce unnecessary emotional turmoil and focus your energy on what you can control. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up. It's about acknowledging reality as it is, without judgment or resistance. When you practice acceptance, you let go of the need to control or change things that are beyond your control, allowing you to find peace in the present moment. This approach helps you maintain your inner calm, even in difficult situations, as you focus on responding to life's challenges with grace and equanimity. For example, if you are dealing with a difficult person or situation, instead of getting frustrated or upset, try to accept the situation as it is. Acknowledge that you cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but you can control how you respond. By practicing acceptance, you can reduce emotional stress and focus on finding constructive solutions to the challenges you face. Another Stoic technique for mastering your emotions is to cultivate patience. Patience involves the ability to endure difficult situations without becoming overwhelmed by negative emotions. It's about maintaining a sense of calm and composure, even when things don't go as planned. To cultivate patience, start by practicing mindfulness and acceptance in difficult situations. When you encounter delays, setbacks, or frustrations, take a deep breath and remind yourself that these experiences are a natural part of life. Instead of reacting with impatience or frustration, try to remain calm and focused on what you can do in the present moment. By cultivating patience, you can reduce emotional stress and maintain your inner calm, even in challenging circumstances. Patience also requires a long-term perspective. When you face a difficult situation, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Consider how you might look back on this moment in the future. Will it still seem as significant as it does now? By keeping the bigger picture in mind, you can maintain a sense of perspective that helps you to remain patient and composed. Another important aspect of mastering your emotions is developing emotional resilience. Emotional resilience involves the ability to bounce back from setbacks and to maintain your emotional balance in the face of adversity. This resilience is built through regular practice of Stoic techniques such as mindfulness, detachment, acceptance, and gratitude. To build emotional resilience, start by embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, face them head-on with a mindset of curiosity and determination. When you encounter setbacks or disappointments, remind yourself that these experiences are temporary and that you have the inner strength to overcome them. By cultivating emotional resilience, you can maintain your inner calm and bounce back more quickly from life's challenges. Resilience also involves a commitment to personal growth. Each time you overcome a challenge, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned and how you've grown. Celebrate your progress and use it as motivation to continue developing your resilience. Over time, you'll find that you are better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. Another powerful Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you practice self-compassion, you reduce negative emotions such as self-criticism, guilt, or shame, and create a more positive and supportive inner dialogue. To practice self-compassion, start by acknowledging your emotions without judgment. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling a certain way, offer yourself understanding and support. For example, if you feel disappointed or frustrated, remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way and that it's a natural part of the human experience. By practicing self-compassion, you can reduce emotional stress and create a more positive and balanced emotional state. Self-compassion also involves recognizing that you are not alone in your struggles. Everyone experiences difficult emotions, and it's important to remember that you are not the only one going through challenging times. By extending the same compassion to yourself that you would to others, you can create a more nurturing and supportive inner environment. Another important aspect of mastering your emotions is developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to understand and manage your emotions as well as the emotions of others. By developing emotional intelligence, you can improve your relationships, make better decisions, and maintain your inner calm in challenging situations. To develop emotional intelligence, start by practicing mindfulness and self-reflection. Pay attention to your emotions and the emotions of others, and try to understand the underlying causes and triggers. When you encounter difficult emotions, instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back and consider how you can respond in a way that aligns with your values. By developing emotional intelligence, you can improve your ability to manage your emotions and maintain your inner calm in any situation. Emotional intelligence also involves empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. By cultivating empathy, you can build stronger relationships and create a more harmonious social environment. When you encounter someone who is upset or distressed, take the time to listen and offer support. By understanding their emotions, you can respond in a way that is compassionate and constructive. Another powerful Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness involves letting go of negative emotions such as anger, resentment, or bitterness, and choosing to move forward with compassion and understanding. When you practice forgiveness, you free yourself from the emotional burden of holding on to grudges, creating a sense of inner peace and emotional balance. To practice forgiveness, start by acknowledging any feelings of anger or resentment that you may be holding on to. Ask yourself whether these emotions are serving you or whether they are holding you back. Then, make a conscious choice to let go of these negative emotions and to move forward with compassion and understanding. By practicing forgiveness, you can reduce emotional stress and create a more positive and balanced emotional state. Forgiveness also involves forgiving yourself for past mistakes or shortcomings. It's important to recognize that everyone makes mistakes and that self-forgiveness is essential to moving forward. By letting go of self-criticism and embracing self-compassion, you can create a more positive and supportive inner environment. Another important aspect of mastering your emotions is developing a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. The Stoics believed that living a life of purpose is essential to achieving inner calm and emotional balance. When you have a clear sense of purpose, you are less likely to be swayed by negative emotions and more likely to stay focused on what truly matters. To develop a sense of purpose, start by identifying your core values and goals. What is most important to you? What do you want to accomplish in your life? Once you have identified your values and goals, focus on making choices that align with them. By living a life of purpose, you can create a sense of inner calm and emotional balance that helps you stay grounded in the face of life's challenges. Living with purpose also involves setting meaningful goals that are aligned with your values. These goals should be challenging yet achievable, and they should reflect your commitment to personal growth and self-improvement. By working toward these goals, you can create a sense of direction and fulfillment that helps you stay emotionally balanced and resilient. Another powerful Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is to practice detachment from outcomes. The Stoics believed that while we should strive to do our best in every situation, we should also recognize that the outcome is not entirely within our control. By detaching from the outcome, you free yourself from the emotional stress and anxiety that often come from trying to control things that are beyond your control. To practice detachment from outcomes, start by focusing on what you can control: your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. When you encounter a challenging situation, remind yourself that while you can influence the outcome, you cannot control it entirely. Instead of becoming emotionally attached to a specific result, focus on doing your best and accepting whatever outcome arises. By practicing detachment, you can reduce emotional stress and maintain your inner calm no matter what happens. Detachment also involves letting go of the need for external validation. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values, rather than from seeking approval or recognition from others. By detaching from the need for validation, you can create a more stable and resilient emotional state that is not dependent on the opinions of others. Another important aspect of mastering your emotions is learning to manage your expectations. The Stoics believed that unrealistic expectations are a major source of emotional turmoil. By managing your expectations, you can reduce feelings of disappointment, frustration, or anger, and create a more balanced and positive emotional state. To manage your expectations, start by being realistic about what you can achieve and what you can control. Instead of setting yourself up for disappointment by expecting perfection or ideal outcomes, focus on what is reasonable and achievable. By managing your expectations, you can reduce emotional stress and maintain your inner calm, even when things don't go as planned. Managing expectations also involves accepting that life is unpredictable and that not everything will go according to plan. By embracing uncertainty and letting go of the need for control, you can create a more flexible and adaptable mindset that helps you stay emotionally balanced in the face of change. Another powerful Stoic strategy for mastering your emotions is to practice the art of letting go. Letting go involves releasing attachments to things, people, or situations that no longer serve you, and creating space for new opportunities and experiences. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you can reduce emotional stress and create a more positive and balanced emotional state. To practice letting go, start by identifying the things in your life that are causing you emotional stress or holding you back. This could be a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling job, or a negative habit. Once you have identified what you need to let go of, make a conscious choice to release it from your life. This might involve setting boundaries, making difficult decisions, or simply choosing to focus on what brings you joy and fulfillment. Letting go also involves releasing attachment to past experiences or regrets. The Stoics believed that dwelling on the past only leads to unnecessary emotional turmoil and that it's important to focus on the present moment. By letting go of past regrets or mistakes, you can create a more positive and balanced emotional state that helps you stay focused on the present and the future. Mastering your emotions through Stoic strategies is a powerful way to maintain inner calm, reduce anxiety, and live a more balanced and fulfilling life. By practicing techniques such as mindfulness, detachment, acceptance, patience, emotional resilience, self-compassion, emotional intelligence, forgiveness, purpose, detachment from outcomes, managing expectations, and letting go, you can gain greater control over your emotions and create a more positive and balanced emotional state. By embracing these Stoic strategies, you can navigate life's challenges with grace and composure, creating a foundation for a life of inner peace, resilience, and fulfillment. As you continue to practice these techniques, you'll find that you are better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life with calm and clarity. You'll be able to respond to challenges with wisdom and resilience, rather than being swept away by your emotions. And most importantly, you'll create a sense of inner peace that allows you to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. This is the true power of Stoicism, the ability to master your emotions and live a life that is true to your highest values and ideals. As you master your emotions and cultivate inner calm, you begin to see with greater clarity the deeper currents that shape your life. No longer tossed by every wave of emotion, you now have the space to ask yourself the most fundamental question: what is the purpose of my life? This is a question that resonates at the core of our being, driving us to seek meaning in all that we do. But how often do we stop to truly consider it? How often do we align our daily actions with the larger mission we feel within us? Imagine if every choice, every decision, every step you took was guided by a clear and unwavering sense of purpose. How would your life change? What heights could you reach? Living with purpose is more than just setting goals or chasing after achievements. It's about discovering what truly matters to you and dedicating your life to pursuing it. It's about understanding that your life has a unique mission, a path that is yours alone to walk. The Stoics believed that living with purpose was essential to achieving a life of fulfillment and inner peace. They taught that when we align our actions with our life's purpose, we live in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. This alignment brings not only a sense of direction, but also a deep and abiding sense of satisfaction, knowing that we are living true to our highest ideals. The journey to discovering your life's purpose begins with introspection, taking the time to reflect on your values, passions, and the things that give your life meaning. What are the causes that stir your heart? What are the activities that bring you joy and fulfillment? What are the values that guide your decisions? By answering these questions, you can begin to uncover the threads of purpose that run through your life, guiding you toward your true mission. To start this process, consider the moments in your life when you felt most alive, most connected to something larger than yourself. These moments often hold clues to your life's purpose. Perhaps it was a time when you were helping others, creating something meaningful, or standing up for a cause you believe in. Reflect on these experiences and ask yourself, what was it about this moment that resonated so deeply with me? What values was I expressing? What impact was I having on the world? By examining these moments, you can start to identify the core elements of your life's purpose. Once you have a clearer understanding of what gives your life meaning, the next step is to align your actions with this purpose. This means making decisions that reflect your values and priorities, even when it's difficult. It means saying no to opportunities that don't align with your mission, and yes to those that do, even if they require sacrifice or courage. Living with purpose requires a commitment to authenticity, to being true to yourself and your values, no matter what. The Stoics taught that living with purpose is not about achieving external success or recognition, but about living in accordance with nature, both your own nature and the nature of the world around you. This means understanding your unique strengths and talents and using them to contribute to the greater good. It also means accepting that your purpose may not always align with what society values or rewards, but that staying true to your mission is what brings true fulfillment. To live with purpose, it's important to set goals that are aligned with your mission. These goals should be challenging yet achievable, and they should reflect your commitment to living a life of meaning and impact. When setting goals, ask yourself, how does this goal align with my values? How will achieving this goal help me fulfill my life's mission? By setting purposeful goals, you create a roadmap for your life that keeps you focused on what truly matters. However, living with purpose also means being flexible and adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances may change, requiring you to adjust your path. The Stoics believed that while we should remain committed to our purpose, we should also be open to the flow of life, adapting to new challenges and opportunities as they arise. This requires a balance between determination and acceptance, between pursuing your goals and embracing the present moment. One way to stay aligned with your purpose is to regularly reflect on your actions and decisions. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-reflection as a tool for personal growth and alignment with one's values. Take time each day or week to reflect on how you are living your life. Are your actions aligned with your purpose? Are you making decisions that reflect your values? If not, what changes can you make to get back on track? By regularly reflecting on your life, you can ensure that you are living with purpose and staying true to your mission. Another important aspect of living with purpose is understanding that your mission may evolve over time. As you grow and learn, your values and priorities may shift, leading you to discover new aspects of your purpose. The Stoics believed that this evolution is a natural part of life, and that we should embrace it with openness and curiosity. By remaining open to change and new experiences, you allow your purpose to unfold in ways that you may not have initially imagined. Living with purpose also involves being mindful of the impact you have on others. The Stoics taught that we are all connected and that our actions have a ripple effect on the world around us. This means considering how your choices and actions affect not only yourself, but also those around you. Are you contributing to the well-being of others? Are you making a positive impact on your community and the world? By considering the broader impact of your actions, you can ensure that your purpose is not only self-serving, but also contributes to the greater good. It's also important to recognize that living with purpose requires courage and perseverance. The path to fulfilling your mission may be challenging, and you may encounter obstacles or setbacks along the way. The Stoics believed that these challenges are opportunities for growth, and that by facing them with courage and determination, we can strengthen our resolve and deepen our commitment to our purpose. Courage is essential because living with purpose often means going against the grain, making choices that may not be popular or easy. It means standing up for what you believe in, even when it's difficult, and staying true to your mission, even when others doubt you. The Stoics taught that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in accordance with your values despite fear. By cultivating courage, you can overcome the obstacles that stand in the way of your purpose and continue to move forward with determination. Perseverance is equally important because living with purpose is not a one-time decision, but a lifelong commitment. It requires continuous effort and dedication, even when the path is difficult or unclear. The Stoics believed that by persevering in the face of challenges, we build resilience and strength, allowing us to stay true to our mission even in the most trying circumstances. This perseverance is what ultimately leads to fulfillment and success in living a purposeful life. Another key aspect of living with purpose is cultivating a sense of gratitude for the journey. The Stoics believed that gratitude is essential to living a life of fulfillment, and that by appreciating the opportunities and experiences that come your way, you can maintain a positive and balanced perspective. Gratitude helps you to focus on the present moment and to recognize the value of each step on your journey, even when the path is difficult. To cultivate gratitude, take time each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for, whether it's the support of loved ones, the opportunities you've been given, or the lessons you've learned along the way. By focusing on the positive aspects of your journey, you can maintain a sense of fulfillment and contentment, even when the road is challenging. Living with purpose also involves being true to yourself and your values, even when it's difficult. The Stoics taught that integrity is essential to living a purposeful life, and that by staying true to your values, you can create a life that is authentic and meaningful. This means making choices that reflect your beliefs, even when it's easier to compromise or take the path of least resistance. Integrity requires self-awareness and honesty, being true to yourself and acknowledging when you may be straying from your path. It also requires the courage to make difficult decisions, even when they are not popular or easy. By cultivating integrity, you can ensure that your actions are aligned with your purpose and that you are living a life of authenticity and meaning. Another important aspect of living with purpose is recognizing that your mission is not just about achieving personal success, but about making a positive impact on the world. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from contributing to the greater good, and that by aligning your purpose with the well-being of others, you can create a life that is not only meaningful, but also deeply rewarding. This means considering how your actions and decisions can benefit others and contribute to the well-being of your community and the world. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your involvement in social causes, living with purpose involves making a positive impact on the world around you. By focusing on the greater good, you can create a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond personal achievement and connects you to something larger than yourself. Living with purpose also involves embracing the present moment and finding meaning in the everyday experiences of life. The Stoics taught that true fulfillment is found not in the pursuit of future goals, but in the appreciation of the present moment. This means being fully present in your daily life and finding joy and meaning in the simple, everyday experiences that make up your life. To embrace the present moment, practice mindfulness and gratitude, and focus on the things that bring you joy and fulfillment in your daily life. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, enjoying a walk in nature, or simply appreciating the beauty of the world around you, living with purpose involves finding meaning in the present moment and recognizing the value of each day. Another important aspect of living with purpose is developing a sense of resilience in the face of challenges. The Stoics believed that life is full of challenges, and that by cultivating resilience, we can overcome these challenges and continue to move forward with determination. Resilience involves the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to stay focused on your purpose, even in the face of adversity. To cultivate resilience, practice mindfulness, self-compassion, and perseverance. When you encounter challenges or setbacks, remind yourself of your purpose and your commitment to living a life of meaning and impact. By staying focused on your mission and maintaining a positive and resilient mindset, you can overcome obstacles and continue to move forward with determination. Living with purpose also involves being open to growth and learning. The Stoics believed that personal growth is essential to living a purposeful life, and that by continuously learning and evolving, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This means being open to new experiences, new ideas, and new perspectives, and being willing to challenge yourself to grow and develop as a person. To cultivate a growth mindset, seek out opportunities for learning and personal development, and be open to feedback and new perspectives. Whether it's through formal education, self-study, or life experiences, living with purpose involves a commitment to continuous growth and learning. By staying open to new experiences and being willing to challenge yourself, you can continue to grow and evolve in alignment with your purpose. Another important aspect of living with purpose is cultivating a sense of balance in your life. The Stoics believed that balance is essential to living a life of fulfillment, and that by maintaining a sense of balance, we can create a life that is both meaningful and sustainable. This means balancing your personal and professional life, your relationships and your individual goals, and your inner and outer life. To cultivate balance, focus on creating a life that is aligned with your values and priorities. This might involve setting boundaries, making time for self-care, and prioritizing the things that are most important to you. By creating a sense of balance in your life, you can ensure that you are living a life of purpose that is both meaningful and sustainable. Living with purpose also involves being mindful of the impact of your actions on the world around you. The Stoics believed that we are all connected and that our actions have a ripple effect on the world. This means being mindful of the impact of your choices and actions on others, and considering how you can contribute to the greater good. To live with purpose, consider how your actions can benefit others and contribute to the well-being of your community and the world. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your involvement in social causes, living with purpose involves making a positive impact on the world around you. By focusing on the greater good, you can create a life of purpose that is not only meaningful, but also deeply rewarding. In conclusion, living with purpose involves discovering your life's mission, aligning your actions with your values, and pursuing a life of meaning and impact. By practicing self-reflection, setting purposeful goals, embracing the present moment, cultivating resilience, and being mindful of the impact of your actions, you can create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. By living with purpose, you can achieve a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that goes beyond personal achievement and connects you to something larger than yourself. This is the true power of living with purpose, the ability to create a life that is true to your highest values and ideals, and that makes a positive impact on the world around you. As we reach the end of this journey together, I hope you've discovered something profound about yourself. A clearer understanding of your values, a deeper connection to your purpose, and the tools to live a life guided by Stoic wisdom. The principles of Stoicism are not just philosophical concepts. They are practical guides that can transform your life from the inside out. By embracing these teachings, you've taken the first steps toward mastering your emotions, living with integrity, and pursuing a life of true meaning and fulfillment. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Every day is an opportunity to put these principles into practice, to refine your character, and to deepen your commitment to living a life of purpose. It's a continuous process of growth, reflection, and action. As you move forward, keep asking yourself the important questions. What truly matters to me? How can I align my actions with my values? What can I do today to live with greater purpose and intention? Living a life of purpose is not about achieving perfection or having all the answers. It's about making conscious choices that reflect your deepest values, even when the path is challenging. It's about being present, being resilient, and being true to yourself. And it's about recognizing that the impact you make, no matter how small, contributes to the greater good of the world. So, as you continue on your journey, I encourage you to take these lessons to heart. Reflect on your purpose daily, let your values guide your decisions, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. Your life's mission is unique, and only you can fulfill it. Embrace the journey with courage, wisdom, and a commitment to living authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What part of this journey resonated with you the most? How are you planning to incorporate Stoic principles into your daily life? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts and insights. I'm eager to hear about your experiences and what you've learned. And if you found value in this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected with a community of like-minded individuals, all striving to live with purpose and meaning. Plus, you'll be the first to know when new content is available to help guide you on your journey. Together, we can continue to grow, learn, and support each other in our quest for a life well lived. Thank you for being part of this journey. Remember, every step you take in alignment with your purpose brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Keep moving forward with determination, and let the wisdom of Stoicism guide you every step of the way.